See, now we associate Raven with, being.
You may have a point.
Right.
Being a man. What?
I mean, she's basically a dude now. She has her good days, but for the most part, she's very masculine, and she's always talking about how she wants to be the
Every time I see her, she just reminds me of like if you ever like when you were a kid, you would play with Play-Doh, and they would say don't mix the colors, and you get blue, orange, yellow,
and then
red,
mix them all,
and you mix them all together. Yeah. She's like a big giant dough of Play-Doh with all different colors. That's what she looks like to me.
I can see that. Her jaw is just so saggy. Don't get me wrong, I'd still throw her a bone. I'm just saying, I had to choose. She can give me some of that.
Oh shit.
We're good?
It doesn't matter. But
Okay,
your question,
right. Go ahead.
you said if I wasn't passionate about film, then what would be my motivation for doing better, I guess? It's just the same as for film. After that, like I said, it was writing. Because if my main motivation for writing, main motivation for getting into film is because I want to write. I want to write books and music and stuff like that. And if I'm not writing for film, it'll be writing for music and books. But even if I wasn't writing books and music, I think my motivation then would just be providing for my family to the point where I can not just spend more time with them, but spend more time doing the things that I think is important. Like I can work, but I want to be able to work and be home on the weekends, or be able to work and spend some time off for holidays and stuff like that.
So you're saying that you would just, be content with making enough money to sustain a lifestyle so that you can be happy with your children.
Yeah,
Like,
wife and
with
kids.
your wife and kids.
Yeah. But that's my motivation. I think that's my motivation for that. But
So do you think it's fair to say that maybe some people are more passionate about more things than others?
yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe that's what our case is. Maybe you just have more passion, and you're just more passionate about your passions.
Yeah.
So when you look at me, you're like, well, what are you passionate about? And the answer is a few things, but not near as much as you.
Well, here's my question is, let's say if you only have passion for one thing, what's your passion meter for that?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Maybe I only have a passion for one thing, and it's really like, I'm passionate about it compared to the rest, but I'm not going to go for it like you would, because the end game, I wouldn't get as much satisfaction as you would.
Here's my question. Yeah, okay, I get that. Here's my question then, because like, if you're not really passionate about
anything
that
that
thing,
what you stand for.
No. It's not just what you stand for. It's like, how do you live your life? You're just coasting through until you die?
I mean, as bad as that may sound, it's kind of like, what alternative do you have? I mean, it's sort of like just being happy. Some people are happy without being like, everyone doesn't like strive to be the same thing. Like, everyone doesn't want to be king. Everyone doesn't want to be the boss. Some people are just happy, just enjoying their life. That's not saying that I'm that person, but I could never judge someone to say, hey, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. This is what I want to be. What do you have going for yourself? Maybe they're just happy.
I hear that.
And I say that because I have personal experiences with that. I see people, and you've almost taught me this. It's like some people, everyone's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any names, but, we have common, we have mutual friends. And it's like this guy, he just goes to work every day to provide for his family. Like, what does he get out of that? He could be traveling and doing this, but maybe he just doesn't want to do that.
Right.
And some people just don't. A lot of people just don't.
Yeah, and my question, I guess, for you is, are you happy? I'm not saying that in a
No, I get it. I am. Because I think about the situations that I was in and the situations that I could be in, and happy, yeah, but really content. And I think people think of that word as settling, but it's
no. That's a great word, to be content.
Yeah.
Because the thing for me is like, I think I always say, like, I'm envious of people who can work a 9-to-5 job and just do that every day of their life until they retire. Because like, I don't have that in me I'm project oriented. I have to be doing something new every single time, or else my mental health starts to decline and I start to go a little crazy.
Exactly. And I've been on both sides of that spectrum, because there's times where I'm sitting around, it's like, should I be doing more? Because look at what this person's doing, but you have to take the cost. It's like the good and the bad. They're doing a lot, but there's a lot of more responsibility. And it's like, do I want that responsibility? Am I lazy because I don't want that responsibility? And a lot of times it's just like,
I don't think you have. Yeah, I don't think you should be. I don't think those people should call themselves lazy, because maybe you just aren't built to.
You just, and everyone just isn't built for that.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if you want something, you have to suck it up and be that kind of person. You have to be a go-getter, because if you're gonna go for something, you have to go for it. You can't.
Well, if you want something bad enough,
right? That's what I'm saying. If you want to go for something bad enough, you have to go. You have to be a go-getter, because if you're not, then you're not gonna succeed. And sometimes, even people like me, for example, I want something. I want to do something. I want to be something. But even if I don't achieve that, the process of being a go-getter to even get it at the end of my life or at the end of my time, I'm just going to be like, I made an effort.
Right.
And I'll be proud of that.
And I've been in that position where you know, it's small things like projects. Like, I remember when I got my first car, I had a goal. I wanted to do this and do that, and I was so passionate about it. I was running around, working, spending the money, putting in the work. And it's like, I enjoyed that. And when it was all said and done, I accomplished it, and I was happy for it. And then it's like, some people are like, all right, so what's next on the list? Then some people are like, I did that. That's what I want to do. You know, whatever else happens. I'm just at the point in my life where you say cruise control. I think I'm just kind of on cruise control right now, and I'm happy with it. Okay. I can genuinely say that I'm happy compared to the way that I was, and I found myself working for something, and I was putting in so much work, and it's like, I don't like what I'm working towards, and it's not worth it anymore. And then it's like, the only reason I'm still going is because of what do you call it? Sunken cost? Because you've invested so much, and it's like, at this point, I might as well just keep going because I've put so much into it. But the older I've gotten, it's like, I realize how valuable time is. It's, you got to cut your loss.
So here's the thing: is you can uproot a plant, right? And put it somewhere else, and it starts to develop roots into the new soil and cement itself, right? What
type of plant? It's important. It's important. Trust me. I'm going somewhere.
I don't know plants like that.
Let's say an apple tree. So go with your analogy and say an apple tree.
Let's say an apple tree, and you can plant it in a different location, right? And it starts to, the roots start to grow out into the soil, in the new soil, and then you have two choices. Either you say, this soil isn't good enough, I know there's better soil somewhere, and I can put it there, I still have time to put it there. Or you can let it sit a little bit too long to where by this time it's already too deep, the tree is already a tree, and you're like, all right, well, it's a tree now, I might as well just let it be an apple tree right here. But meanwhile, there's another soil somewhere else that's producing more fruit on that tree. Do you feel like you're in that soil that's good enough, or are you in that soil that you want to be in?
I realize that I no longer want apples.
So you don't want success? Well, the apples.
No, I just don't want apples. I want oranges now.
Well, it's the fruit. The fruit is what I'm saying.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, you know how they say when life gives you lemons, sometimes you
make beef stew.
Sometimes you don't want lemons. Sometimes you want apple juice. Sometimes you don't want apples. Sometimes
you want the kind of fruit is besides the point.
No, it is the point though.
Okay, tell me how.
I just said it. You're saying all the investment that you're making, and you can move into different soil, and it can grow different. It can grow better. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be an apple tree. And sometimes you just go through life, and you're like, you know what? I've been growing this apple tree, and I don't have a taste for apples anymore.
Okay, so what I was saying is that maybe you're growing apple tree, I'm growing oranges or something, right? The point is, you're growing something.
Right.
So whether you're growing something or not, do you?
But sometimes you feel like it's not worth it. You just don't want to grow that anymore. That's not what
No,
you want.
I'm saying like you want to grow apples. I'm saying, do you want to grow anything?
Yes, you do. You want. I have a taste.
Okay,
for
well
oranges.
then I guess the analogy for you is if you're growing apples right now and you see if you're planting an apple tree and it starts to grow into a tree and then you realize maybe I don't want apples.
And for the
anymore.
record, I get what you're saying.
Are you if you're at the point where you're like I don't want apples anymore, are you making the decision to take that tree down and plant an orange tree, or are you still just letting the apples grow?
You can still let the apples grow.
I'm asking you.
So I'm at the point now to where I've been growing an apple tree for a long time, and at this point it's like I don't want apples anymore, but I'm not going to chop that tree down.
That's what I feel like is your problem.
Right, you feel like that's my problem, and I'm saying that that's what I want to do, and I'm okay with that. You have a luscious garden with all sorts of fruit trees because that's what you want. And me, I'm saying I have this apple tree whenever I want apples, but I can do without it.
Yeah, but what you're missing there is that you said I want oranges, and then you still have this apple tree that's growing, and you're like I'll just let the apple tree stay there.
Right,
so
are you oranges?
Well, okay, so that's my point. Is like, are you growing the oranges though, or are you just sitting there? Like, I got this apple tree. I want oranges, but it's just a little bit too much work, and I'm just gonna stick with the apple tree, and I'm not really satisfied with this. But
so that's a good analogy, and I guess it's at times I could say, well, I would like oranges, but is the juice worth the squeeze? I can just eat the apples and be content with those apples for now.
Okay.
Until I really, really crave the oranges,
I guess
then
again,
I'll put in the work.
It's that passion meter. Do you
That's
really
all it
want the
is.
oranges that bad to leave the apple tree?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
And if you're asking me, I think
it's hard to agree. I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like it's kind of one of those things that you just have to accept because it's someone else's life. But I get why you're questioning it. I do.
Well,
and your point is valid, but
I'll just leave it here. I'll just make this last point and we can move on. You asked, is the juice worth the squeeze? All I'm saying is you're spending a lot of time growing apples and just letting the apples grow when you really want orange juice. But if you put the time into growing that orange juice, wait. If you spend the time to grow that orange tree, eventually you'll realize that, hey, I've been wasting my life spending my time growing this apple tree where squeezing the juice out of the orange is so much easier than squeezing juice out of apples. Right. Anyway, so we are the Storytellers. It's me, Trell, and I have the Supreme Cairo right here with me. And then we also have, is it 50 Cent? Is it a dinosaur? No, we got Wash.
Is it Michael Shea?
Is it Michael Shea?
Michael Shea, what the hell?
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend news report. Live from New York.
We have Wash the Predator with us. And then, of course, we still got
AKA Big Nasty.
Big Nasty.
Big Nasty in the house.
We got Nathan on the ones and twos with us. We don't have Ri'Yadh today. Or Isaac, apparently, COVID out there killing people today. But
he's still alive though.
I'm just getting over COVID.
Yeah, that's too, man. Get your booster shots, boys and girls.
Haven't got it.
Wait 2 weeks.
Haven't got it.
Really?
Don't need it.
But I forgot what we were going to talk about.
See?
Nah,
I got it.
I got it.
We got to do the
we got a divorce problem.
Facebook. Oh, you want to do the divorce first?
We got a divorce problem.
All right, let's do.
I don't know about these topics, by the way.
No, it's a topic in general. It's basically saying, do you think the laws of divorce are fair on both sides for men and women?
Heck no. I feel the same way about child custody, too.
Let's talk about
let's
that.
do it.
This is going to be a serious podcast the entire time?
I mean, and we can take from divorce to child custody to rearing your child.
Rearing your child, is that what we're calling it? I feel like saying the word rearing and child don't go together too well.
They don't. Let's talk about the way that you raise your child.
Well, let's just talk about the main thing that you were talking about first. What was that about? Divorce or whatever?
Divorce laws.
Divorce laws, prenups. How's
Nick,
a joke?
You made a good point earlier when you said that if you support someone, if you're wealthy and you support someone who's never worked or has no sort of education, and they depended on you your entire life, then basically you're their guardian. So if you divorce them, or if they divorce you,
it's like taking care of a kid.
They get half.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that. But I remember Eddie Murphy made this old joke when he's like, he just made like $20 million and his wife did hair and made like 175. She's like, here, put that with the rest of it. It's really not fair. It's like one person's obviously the breadwinner.
I kind of understand.
And alimony's a problem.
I agree with that.
Because it only goes one way. You rarely hear cases of women paying a man alimony.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing, and I think it's just built in a culture of in America where, like, actually I think it's in more places than just America,
really
but it's like
America.
where I'm talking about the culture of men being a provider and taking care of the whole household. So like if they decide that they're going to leave their wife or something, it's like, well, you've been providing for this person and now you've put them in a place where they can't take care of themselves because they've been staying at home, not working this entire time.
Well, they can take care of themselves.
Oh yeah, I believe
it's just
they can.
they can't live that lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, they have to reset their expectations in life and stuff. But
get a job.
But if someone's never worked, it's hard to say, well, you came from all this and now you got to go get a job part time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think did you ever find the name of that disorder or syndrome where, like, when you marry somebody and you put them in a place where they are dependent on how much money you're making all the time, and they get used to that lifestyle for 20 plus years or something like that, and then you get divorced, and that person is divorced, but everything, their expenses, the way they live, how many kids they have and stuff, it's way more than, just the money that's being spent in that situation is far more than what they can do on their own when they get the divorce.
Right.
So at that point, it's like you've created a monster. You have to
there should be limitations to it. There should be a time.
Adapt.
There should be a time.
But
you shouldn't have to take care of that person for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I think it gets to a point where, like, sometimes I think psychologically people or women who are in those situations don't even understand how to take care of themselves other than how they've been living for the last 20 plus years. And that's what I'm saying, is like that syndrome where the kid will go through life without any consequences from their parents at all. Maybe not even getting any attention from their parents. And then they go out and they do things like crash a car, get drunk driving and crash a car and kill somebody. But in their mind, they didn't do anything wrong. They don't understand why they're being punished or why they're suffering consequences, because their entire life they've never had to suffer consequences. So they don't truly understand what right and wrong is. I can't remember what that syndrome is called, but that's a real thing where it's like not alopecia. Anyway.
Oh wow.
But alopecia.
Definitely.
But it's a real syndrome where it's like you can understand a person going through life and never having to suffer any consequences, never being truly taught what good and bad is or what right and wrong is, and then they get to a point where
they call sociopaths.
Yeah, I would say this is sociopath.
And we live amongst them.
Oh yeah.
In this room.
Your sister was one for a long time. Think about it. Growing up, and you was like, man, she can't quite.
I don't think she was a sociopath.
Okay.
I think she was more of
a sibling. He's not gonna admit
more
to it.
of a.
It's his sister. He's not gonna admit to it.
No. I didn't say she was a sociopath.
Yeah, you was like, man, she just throws a fit and sits in the corner and gets whatever she wants. And I'm like, yeah.
No, she doesn't get what she wants. That's the thing is, I think she's always been finding a way to. I wish she was here. I love my sister.
Get what she wants.
No, it's not even about getting her what she wants. I think she's always. How do I say it? It's like she understands that there are going to be consequences for this thing, but that doesn't. She can't control herself from stopping from doing the thing that's going to give her consequences. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like.
If you want something bad enough, you're going to do it regardless of the consequences.
Yeah, and I think for her, it's more of like, I know this is wrong and I don't want to do it because I know what's going to happen after it. And then she ends up doing it. She's like, why did I do that? That was stupid. And then the next time that situation is presented again and she does it again, she's like, what's wrong with me? And then she ends up having like a mental breakdown and she's just like, maybe this is who I am. And some people fall into that, you know?
Yeah, but there's always a way out. You know, people always find a way to get better. It doesn't mean it's, a death sentence. I think she's done very well for herself. I told her how proud I am of her all the time.
She's getting better. I should talk to her soon. Well, I am going to talk to her soon. But wait, which sister are you talking about?
Yeah, I think
I was just about to ask that. Like, I got multiple sisters. Like, which one you talking about?
It's funny when you said
I
that.
was thinking the same thing. I was like, all right, okay.
Because I was talking about one sister, and then you said
We're
something,
clearly talking
and then I was thinking about something that you said, and I was like, I think you're talking about the other sister.
Yeah.
We'll find out after the
Yeah,
podcast.
You don't see this.
I already know one of them.
Got like 4 different sisters. Like, what the heck?
I do have a lot of sisters.
Oh yeah, now I think
I wasn't.
I guess, yeah.
Now I'm wondering again, which one are you talking about?
Which one you talking
I'm
about?
adding
Was
sisters
it-
to the
I'm talking
comment.
about the obvious one. I mean, I'm just looking around the room and I'm like,
Oh, I know what you talk. Which one you talking
yeah,
now?
we've had this conversation, but
Yes, I'm 100%
Yep.
agree with you now.
okay, all right.
We're talking about the same sister now.
All right.
Yeah.
You know who you
Cairo.
are.
Eye to eye.
Eye to eye. But again,
You know who you are.
You know.
she definitely did a 180. This is a live visit.
Yeah, is that her right now? No, I'm joking.
Oh,
Yeah, she definitely is in that category a little bit. But the thing and problem is some people are really bad about that, and they get older and they just
It
think
comes from not getting whippings. It comes from I shouldn't say that. It comes from just
no consequences in
No
general.
discipline.
No discipline.
no
That's
discipline.
Yeah.
Bad parenting.
right, or the absence of parents.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absence of
And
parents.
them not being there.
Absence
It's fisting.
of parents. This is a problem I think in society in general.
Oh, I know what I really want to ask you.
Parents not spending the time to understand who their kid is and what their vices are, and what good motivations they have for their, they can provide for their kids, and what
A lot of times they don't know. Imagine if you're a single parent and you're raising a child and the other parent's not around, so that child has no guidance. Like, it's more than just a physical, but a mental. Like, imagine if your father has some sort of disability or some sort of genetic condition like a heart disease or high blood pressure, and you don't know how to raise this child or what to feed them because you don't really know anything about their parent, and that child doesn't know. And then one day they go to the doctor and it's like, yeah, well, they always ask you your family history, health history. If you don't know anything about your parent, then you don't know what to expect. You could have dormant disabilities lying. You never know what could happen, and that's so important. Or even their personality.
Well, I'm getting at the personality part. Like, like I understand. Like sometimes you don't know what physical ailments are and genetic things, but I'm talking about like personality wise, or like understanding who your kid is and what they're good at doing or what they don't like doing or what things they need help. Like for example, me and Kaden. I know Kaden is afraid of. Can you turn it off, please? Why would you even leave it on after the first time? But I know, for example, Kaden is afraid of certain things. Oh, this is a perfect example. I don't even know if I said this on podcast before. Caden's playing basketball, right? He has a game today, right? He loves playing basketball, football, and sports in general. The thing is, he's not the best at it, but he's good enough to be on the team, right? To get off the bench. And I'm like, his personality is like not cocky, but he just doesn't understand how not good he is. So he goes into every situation thinking that he, like, we'll football practice, for example. They were running from one side of the field to the other, and he was like the first or second kid to finish, cross the line or whatever. And in his mind, oh, Daddy, I'm the second fastest on the team. I'm like, Kaden, that was just running. They were running for exercise. No one was actually trying to full speed blast you or anything. You got to realize that. And you got to realize that when you're out there, even if you do finish second and they were going their hardest, when you get the football in your hand, that's a different story. That kid may be able to juke somebody and break some ankles where you might get tackled and wrapped up on the first play. It's on first touch. So that's a different thing. And so, like, for him to understand where he truly is in the, I guess, the rank or the scale of skill on the team and talent and stuff, he doesn't really truly know that because in his mind, he's like, oh, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. And I don't, like, say, Caden, you suck or anything. I'm just like, Caden, you got to understand that you can be better. There's a lot more work you have to do. And so I'm always pushing him, because I know he can be better. And so we do drills around the house. I had him in the driveway, and I set up some cones, and I had him run straight, pivot or juke, go to the right, and then go to that corner, and then cut straight, and then cut to the left, and then cut again, go full speed all the way out to the street, right? We live in a cul-de-sac, so you can see cars before they come. So he's doing this, right? He's running, cut, and then running full speed out to the street. And I'm like, Caden, faster. You got to go faster. You got to go faster. He does it again and go full speed. I'm like, Caden, come on. I know you can go faster than that. Go faster, Caden. Push yourself. Move yourself. I know you can go faster. And he's like, Daddy, I'm tired. I can't go faster than that. That's my full speed. I'm like, Caden, it's not your full speed. There's another gear that you're not hitting, and I know that you can hit it. He does it again. I'm like, Caden, this time, you're going to go. As soon as you make that first cut to go to the second cone, I'm going to go. And if I catch up to you, I'm going to punch you as hard as I can in the back. And, oh, no, I was like, in the butt. I'm going to punch you as hard as I can in the butt. And he was like, he got a little bit excited. Like, okay, Daddy, okay. And so I blew the whistle. He took off running to the first one and going the same speed that he was in the last few drills. And then he cut, and then I took off running. And when he got to that second cone, he saw me coming up on that first cone, and I was gaining on him. And it was funny because, like, as soon as he saw me, he took off as fast as he could. And then around that last cone, I caught up to him, and he saw me right behind him. He burnt me going to the street. And I was like, Caden, that's what I'm talking about. You can go that fast all the time. You have to do that. You have to psychologically put yourself in that place to go that fast. When you're out there on a basketball court, on a football field, you have to see Daddy running up behind you, getting ready to punch in the butt, because that's what's going to get you to move faster. And I can see that because I spend that time with him, and I recognize what he can do and what he can't do. I observe my son. I spend the time with him. I talk to him. I watch him when he's doing things. So that, and then personality, like all these different things are things that I get because I'm spending these times and we have all these conversations. And I feel like a lot of parents don't do that. So if you spend that time with your kid, you can.
Now imagine having two parents and he's getting both that attention.
Exactly.
On both sides, the masculine and the feminine.
Yes. Like I do feel like I'm not the best at nurturing. Like I can do nurturing things, but I'm not always the best nurturer.
To be soft and
you
never realize that I was just sick and my mom took care of me, and the whole time I was just like, man, I'm just so vulnerable, and it's just there's nothing like a mom to just nurture you. And my mom, like my mom, she's not always the sweetest, nicest, kindest person, but
the real mom.
Your mom,
the realest.
She was taking care of me.
We were just really quick. I just want to say, Caden had COVID over the weekend too, and I was taking care of him. And he was like, after it was over, he was like, Daddy, thank you for taking care of me. I was like, Caden, what else am I gonna do? I love you.
I got my mom some flowers last night.
That's dope.
Taking care of me.
Your mama though, we were talking about this off the podcast. Your mom was hilarious because the way she used to treat us as kids. Why was she so mean?
She treated us bad.
She's nothing like that. I pick on her and I'm like, you got soft. Like I'll
Does she,
something out or something.
Does she know that she was mean? Does she look back like, yo, man, I was terrible?
Everybody used to say that. Everybody used to call me that.
I remember I came to your house and knocked on the door because y'all said I think the day before, you're like, hey, we're going to come outside at this time or whatever. So I come outside to play basketball and you're not there. So I go back in the house, come back out a little bit later. You're still not there. I'm like, let me go knock on the door. But I'm already afraid of your mama because I know she's mean. I knock on the door hoping that one of y'all will come to the door. And she comes to the door. And I said, hey, can Ri'Yadh and Cairo come outside? And she's like, no, they'll be out there in 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And then she closed the door. Didn't even say bye or anything. Just slammed the door in my face. Okay.
Because she was probably fussing at us.
She was. I think y'all didn't clean up or y'all cleaning up or whatever. I go back to the house or to the apartment.
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later.
Like she said.
Come out there. Don't see y'all. So I go to the house. I'm like, I'm scared. I actually went up there and was too afraid to knock. So I went back to the court and played just to give myself some more time, just to say, oh, it's more than 30 minutes. And then came back up there, knocked. And she didn't even say, like, who are you? What do you want? She just opened the door. They're not coming outside right now. Bye. And then slammed the door. I was like, I'm sorry.
She's nothing like that now.
Yeah, she's such a sweetheart now.
Sweet now.
She's sweet. She changed.
Yeah. She is a sweetheart.
She's going to change again,
but I'm
too.
glad we got that discipline growing up. Like, Because I mean, you can all attest to it. All the people who were in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
I remember my mom used to always tell me, kids like that, they're gonna end up either dead or in jail. And my mom ain't never told no lie.
That's crazy.
Not really.
Can we name? I mean, not name.
valid
We don't have
names.
to
Can't name
name
them,
them, but we
I
can
can
you
name-
count how many are dead or in jail right now, or we
Or
just
have
don't
gone. I
Yeah.
mean, or basically living their life like a dead person.
know. One person.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, how? Let's do this. How many of them are successful? How many of them do you even think you can reach out to?
What do you mean by reach out to?
Like,
Mm.
say, hey, this person's alive. They're doing this or doing that. You know.
I know one of them is somewhat Charlotte famous, but he was on the younger side.
You're talking about the baby's cousin.
And on that note,
That's what we're gonna do
and on
now.
that note, y'all ready to take a break?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh man, David Ruffin when he was doing it, it was like, no way. a minute.
the girl's like, oh. David Ruffin was a
Good?
man.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get into a serious topic, and this is going back from what we were talking about in the first portion. Let's talk about how the generation before us and before us were just not a good generation.
What do you mean by that? Go ahead.
Hear me out.
Say what you're saying.
They're the least educated, and this is coming from a black generation, black family, but the traumas that they went through, they pass those down, and this goes back to disciplining our children, and how they made it so it was a thing to whoop your child. Now, growing up, I always thought getting whoopings made me a better person, but I feel like if I was raised with two parents in the house, there would be no need for that. And I remember my mom's face when she would whoop us. And there's that old cliche, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. But one thing I can say is my dad never put his hand on me. He always spoke to me in a calm demeanor. And he always explained everything to me, what I did wrong and how I can go about doing it right the next time.
I'm curious about that.
Okay?
You said your dad never whooped you, right? Never put his hand on you.
No.
Your mama did all the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, she had to. She felt
Which
like she had to.
Badass
who do you think was
kids.
a better parent, though?
That's not fair.
I don't think they're
Because I'm
correlated.
taking such a small sample size, and it's not fair to even give him any credit.
Give who?
My father. I mean, that wouldn't be fair.
You think he was a better parent?
I think that if I would have liked for my mom to have parented me the way that he did, from a discipline aspect.
But who do you think was a better parent?
My mother. I mean,
That's how I agree. I think your mom was a better parent.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
best.
hands
Yeah.
down. I mean,
Hands
she was
down.
the only parent.
So, do you think that the whooping was had anything to do with that?
No, because I think that it could have been done a different way. I think that she could have set us down, but she was probably intimidated. She's a small lady, and me and my brother were big guys. and
Also,
we
I just
grew
think that's
fast.
just the way she grew up.
It is,
That's-
but that's the point I'm trying to make. So she got whoopings,
Yeah.
and in our community, we whoop the son. But at the same time, if a girl grows up with her mother or her father, if she grows up with her father, more than likely she's going to be the princess, and she's going to be taught to do certain things, and she's going to carry that with her throughout her life. Sons, I can say personally, my mom was hard on us growing up, but as we got older, it was almost like she babied us. Like, we did everything
That happened
right.
with my mom, too.
Right.
Yeah. True.
And then look at how your sisters were.
Oh, I talked to my grandma about this, actually.
Right, and look at the relationship between your mother and the sisters. It's almost like it's either they're going to be best friends or they're going to be rivals. They're going to be envious towards
Yeah.
one another.
Well,
almost jealousy, if you will. And they carry that along into their relationships. That's why they say, a man always looks for his mother and his wife, or a woman with daddy issues is because she's looking to replace her father.
Yeah, or like the thing like a woman wants to marry her father, or like
Right. Which is human instinct.
yeah, like the son wants to make sure like he's coming home to mom and kind of thing.
Right.
I just think discipline is, like you said, it's different. Or it should be different than what it used to be. And I don't, and I'm a kid too. you know, that's another thing too. I talked to my friend about this. She's Mexican, and we talked about this before.
Hispanic.
She was like, we got this. I got somewhat actually. She said I got a little bit different treatment than you got, but we did get whooped too. She said I think the difference is black people will say that they got whooped or they got their butt whooped or they got beat or something. Well, I just said that we got spanked. It does, just the changing the verbiage sounds different.
It
like
does.
if I say
pop your kid,
yeah,
it's different from
for example,
whooping
I have a son and I whooped his butt before.
Yeah.
But that's just because the way I grew up. We say I whooped his butt, but I literally only popped him like once in the butt. That's how it's happened. Like we were in Walmart one time. I was like, "Hey, Kaden, you and need to calm down before you knock something down or break something or whatever." I was like, "Stop playing so much. Stop screaming. Stop running around." And he gets hyper whenever he gets around people. You know how he is. I guess he's like an entertainer.
You gotta represent.
But so I told him once, kept doing it. Kaden, didn't I tell you stop? And he knows better because he doesn't do this around when other people aren't around. But because she was with us, he did it. So I told him again. And then the third time, playing around, I was doing something and I was getting ready to go grab him, but he ran around the corner right in front of me, bumped into me, almost knocked something over. I just grabbed my arm, popped him one time on the butt. He stopped. Tear came out his eye, and it wasn't because it hurt. It's because
he knew he was wrong. He was guilty.
And for the rest of that trip, he obeyed what I was saying. He told, "Hey, stop playing so much." He did that because he understood.
I think in our society, it's the nomenclature, like these words, submissive, obedient.
Like they're
looked
bad.
at like slaves or dogs, and it's like, no, you have to obey. If you're a child, you have to obey. You have to, draw that line in the sand. I don't think parents do that anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, to see a child drink with his parent or smoke with their parent,
it's weird.
It's weird. Like me growing up, I never would have thought I would be drinking with my mom or even using profanity around my mom.
You know what else I think is weird
out of respect.
too? And a lot of people will do this now and let it happen. I think a lot of people are on board with this now. I think it's really weird for a mom or a dad or with their son or with their daughter. Buy them condoms when they're like 13 and 14
It's so crazy
years old.
that you mentioned that. I was just listening to something about that last night. And it's like, I get the sentiment, but it's like, think about what that says.
You set yourself early.
Okay. Yeah,
it's enabling.
Even with birth control, instead of teaching them, hey, here's birth control, that's like saying, here's a bulletproof vest, go to war.
It's like the consensus for those people is that, well, if they're gonna do it, I prefer them to do it safely. But what you're doing is encouraging them to do it by giving them, like you're opening. It's like me right now telling a dog, "Hey, don't go outside. I'm just gonna leave the door open in case you do want to go outside, so you don't run into the front door." No, close the door.
Do go outside, look both ways when you cross the street. It's like, no, just nip it in the bud. Don't let them go out at all.
And the thing is that I feel like a lot of times, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's sex, drugs, or whatever. Instead of leaving a doorway for them to go use these things and say do it safely, how about finding other avenues for them to express themselves? Because I feel like, for example, someone buying their son condoms and stuff, you feel like you have to buy him condoms because he's bringing girls to the house a lot, or he's staying out late and going to these girls' house or whatever. And so you feel like, my son is probably having sex. Let me buy him some condoms. But how about this? Me and my dad, when we were, when I was in high school, I wasn't going to parties, hanging out with girls all the time. You know what I did? Me and my daddy would go out to the movies. Me and my daddy, every night at 8 o'clock, we had these TV shows on TV, primetime TV, we would watch together, like Heroes and stuff like that. We would watch that stuff together. Or we'll go to like a high school basketball game somewhere, or we'll go to a Hornets game or something. Like, we spent time together.
Here you are, a boy raised by your father.
Yeah.
And the problem is when there's a parent absent. And the reason I mentioned so I was having a talk with my mom and one of her friends, and we were talking about their generation compared to ours. And she was like, your generation's so lost. You have, look at the high rate of homosexuality, of kidnapping, child trafficking. And I'm like, well, Mom, you guys had that too. The difference between our generation and yours is ours is televised. Just like how they say with, with black people being abused in mainstream, you look at that and it's like, so you're saying that wasn't happening in your time? The only difference is we have cell phones now, so we're recording it in 1080. But like, your uncles, everyone, every family, your generation, you had the uncles that was touching on kids. The difference is you guys kept it a secret. You weren't allowed to talk about that.
Yes.
We're open about it because we understand that that's a trauma and they can be passed down to the next generation. Homosexuality, we all had the gay person in our family. The difference is our gay cousin is out and open with it and we're cool with it. You guys have a gay person in your family that's been gay since day one and you guys keep it a secret.
Or they've been gay until they were moved out, and then it was like, I didn't know he was gay this whole time.
Right, like really?
Yeah.
Or your parents abusing you, or your father or mother cheating in a marriage, and you made it seem like, because I always hear people say, oh well, my mom and dad was married for this long and we never had any issues. No, you guys have talked about it because that line was drawn in the sand. You stay in a child's place. Your dad stepped out on your mom, but he put food on the table. He came in
and she
let them handle their business. Right, that's their business. All you need to know is they took care of you as a child. See, now we can't do that.
Another thing, I told somebody this before, is like, I don't even know, maybe this is just because I'm black, but I don't know if this happens in other cultures, but back then, it wasn't too crazy to think for let's say a kid to grow up, right, and he has like 2 big sisters and a big brother, right, and then he's like 25 years old or 18 years old or something, and finds out that one of his big sisters was actually his mom the whole time. Because
we have that in our families, and it's crazy that they don't realize that when they finally tell the child, it drives them crazy.
Yeah.
It's like something just snaps. I can think of so many situations in our family, and maybe even in yours. I mean, you can look right next door, and you can say, well, we all know that that's not your real daddy, or that's not your real mom. But why don't y'all tell that kid that? Because she's going to grow up calling her sister mom, or you know, her mom, thinking her mom is her sister.
Yeah.
Just tell them. I know it's hard, but you got to have these conversations.
It is a weird thing. It's like, how do you think that's normal?
Man, I've seen that in my family.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like, what do y'all like? What's the purpose of lying? Like, are y'all that ashamed? You did it. You did that.
I do think sometimes that some people are so ashamed to where they keep up a lie so long that they actually start to believe a lie, or they at least they just don't know how to not act like the lie isn't true.
And then they wonder why they can't take care of these kids, because it's like these problems that they have, they come from the person who's no longer here. But you can't go to them and ask them.
Yeah,
it's a generational thing. That's why I said I would always be open, and I really don't like the idea of blended families. I get it. The same, and it's the same issue. Not even issue, but it's the same reason I have with raising another man's child. It's like, it's good that you can step up and do something like that, but that's not your child. Like, one day that child's gonna have issues, and how do you handle that?
You just have to be the best parent you can be.
But that's it. You have to be the best parent you can be. But if it's your child, you can go about it different ways.
Yeah, I think with that though, it's like, do you love this kid? Because I don't think you can be in a relationship with a parent without loving their kid too. Because like you asked me this last time, like would I be with someone, like if that kid, you said something like, would I treat them the same way I treat my son? And I would say, yeah, I would have to, because it's just like right now, if my son grows up and have some traumatic issue that we need to go through, I'm going to go through that with him because I love him. So if I'm going to marry somebody, I have to love their kid the same way. Because something like that happens, I have to go through that with them just like I would with my son.
You have to be willing to put that work in.
Yeah, you cannot jump into a relationship with someone who has kids without expecting to go through life with their kids as if they're your kids.
And that's why I feel like it would be selfish of me to date someone with a child, because I can no longer put that effort in. Yeah. And then it comes to a point to when you do break up, it's easy for your partner to say, hey, you know, things aren't working out, we need to split.
That's tough.
It's tough already. Now imagine if there's a kid, and you can't explain that to the child.
You can't explain.
Not only that, but it's like, it's like phantom pains, right? You know, like people who have their leg cut off and then they say, oh, my leg is hurting. It's like, how? You don't have a leg. It's like, I can't explain it. It's like that because the person breaks up with you but then they take their kids with them. It's like, how are you taking my kids from me? But it's like, that's not your kid.
Right.
But I still feel
It's
that.
unnatural.
It's not. It's a
the same
weird
heartbreak.
thing.
And imagine what the kids go. See, at least you can lay down in your bed at night and explain it to yourself why this is happening. The child can't do that. She has no clue what's going on. He has no clue what's going on. It's just, why isn't he in my life anymore? They don't. You can't explain to them what happened.
It's a weird thing. It's like, for example, a mom breaks up with, let's say, if she was in a relationship with a guy for 2 years or something, or this guy was living with them or
Imagine
whatever.
if it's more than 2 years.
Yeah, and then what happens is the kid, they break up, and then the kid is like, my dad wasn't around, and then this guy who was somewhat of a dad was here, and now he's not around either. Like, am I going to keep having that? What happens with that kid is that they no longer want to, I don't know, I'm missing a word here, but they no longer want to
Commit or have that investment.
have that commitment to this new whoever your mom's going to be
where
next.
the daddy issues come in, because now they're
Yeah.
always looking for someone to fill that void in the different men that they're dating when they get older, or the different women that you're dating when you get older.
I wouldn't say I have that issue with dating or anything like that.
I don't think you would have that issue.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I have that with my mom, for example. My mom has had different boyfriends.
Yeah.
And
But you also had your father.
yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, I'm just identifying with the kid who has had different relationships or whatever, where I do kind of, it's like when my mom does have a boyfriend or get married or something, I just detach. It's like,
Don't even want to get involved
I'm
because
like,
you already know.
it's like to me, not to me, but I can understand how a kid can be like, oh, this is just a revolving door. He's not gonna be here long, you know that, and so you don't really invest time with that person. You don't really want to talk to him. I think one time my mama brought this dude over, and she was introducing him to me, and I was like, all right, and it was so disrespectful. I even apologized after because I knew how disrespectful it was. But at the moment when she brought it to me, it was just like, it don't matter. He doesn't matter. He's not even gonna be
He's
here.
out
long.
of here, yeah.
And
not even worth to learn his name.
Exactly. And I actually do remember his name now thinking about it. But it was so disrespectful. And it turned out, like I said, like I thought it was. They didn't last long, and it's fine. But
And your mom's like that because of her parents. You know,
Yeah.
it comes from somewhere. It stems from somewhere.
yeah, my grandma talked about that, about things.
You know, and it's crazy that because I've met your grandma, and it's crazy that it's almost like the generation before, they know. That's why I say the generation above us, they're just clueless. They just got it from both ends. They're getting it from us because when we come back and we try to explain things to them, immediately they say that's disrespectful. But it's not. We have a mind of our own. We're your equal now, whether you like it or not. And we know more than you. You should never expect your child to know more, but you should always want your child to learn.
That's
more
one thing.
surpass you.
Nate might know this. I don't know if you ever have deep conversations with Daddy or not, but like that's one thing I have with a problem. Me and Daddy have a problem with. It's like we'll have a conversation, and because I know something, I think just because he's a parent, it's just like I'm still your dad. I know.
See,
It's for me, I'm like, but I'm an adult now, and I actually know how to do my own research. I know how to look up stuff. I know
Exactly.
also, like, I've experienced different things that you have or haven't, haven't
Exactly.
experienced. And so I'm like,
and we know what the future is coming.
Yeah.
and they're almost in cruise control. Like they don't need to learn anything else.
this is for example. He was like, he Charlie D'Amelio, you know what that is, right? From TikTok.
No.
I don't know if she still is, but she used to be like the most followed person on TikTok. It's the reason why TikTok is popular, because she would do the dances and all that stuff. She even has like a reality TV show because of TikTok. Anyway,
So we see why?
no. JoJo is actually pretty now. Have you seen her?
She's not.
Oh, with her hair down? Yeah, she is.
I haven't seen her with her hair down, but she tried to ride that whole kitty bubblegum thing for a long time. And I was like,
Yeah, I didn't like it. It was weird. And then that one video where she had her hair down and she was just dressed like a woman, I was like, oh, how old is she again?
Okay.
I think she's like 20 or something like that.
Yeah, she like tweeted those pictures, which is weird.
But what was I
Okay,
saying?
now if that's her right there, then she looks yeah, that's a cute picture.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
She looks mature.
go to like JoJo,
But like the
see
picture
what
right
adult.
underneath it, she clearly looks
Type
like
in
an old
adult
lady.
and see what comes up. Because
Anyways, before we get off topic, go ahead.
Charlie D'Amelio, my dad one time was like, I think him and his wife too, but he was like, oh yeah, first of all, I don't agree with my little sister. She's about the same age as Kaden, having a phone and having complete autonomy with it. at this age anyway.
Right.
But he was like, "Oh yeah, I think we got to get her off TikTok or get rid of TikTok." Or she's not. He was like, "She's not allowed to use TikTok right now because." He was saying something, but he ended up going down this whole rabbit hole and then start talking about how like they have like it's TikTok is racist. There's that those white people taking the black people dances and blah blah. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, like the one girl that's stealing black people dances and it's racist. I'm like, do you know what TikTok is? The thing is, he never had a Facebook, never had Instagram. He doesn't do
he's not hip to the culture.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. So I'm like, it's literally just a trend. Like someone will dance, and then someone will tag that person or use the same music and do the same dance, and like millions of people will do this. It's not like one person stealing another person's dance and taking credit for
That's
it.
how my granddad is. I remember when we were younger, I was trying to teach him how to use cell phones. He's like, man, I don't need to learn how to do this or do that. And I'm like, you're going to be one of those people. And then my mom always tries to, take up for him and say, hey, well, he's just older. And I'm like, nah. There's always, when he was a young age, he just got left behind. I remember Wash, when Wash was writing cashier's checks. And I was like, why are you writing cashier's checks? Like, that's an old thing to do. Who taught you that?
That's it.
And clearly his mother taught him that. But it's like, I have digital banking. I've never written a check in my life because I would never need to write a check in my life ever. I'm using Bitcoin now. And then I look at, there's people my age who don't even know what Bitcoin is. And it's like, it's cute now because you think, oh, well, you don't need it. But then 10 years from now, when everyone's using it, you're going to be the person that's still writing checks. And then when we get to the retirement age, like my granddaddy now doesn't know how to use Facebook. He doesn't know how a video game works. So he doesn't understand the transition from DVDs to, Blu-rays. He doesn't get that. And his excuse is, well, I'm just old. But there's people his age who understand all of those things.
True.
Yeah,
so at some point you see yourself being left behind.
There's a few things in here too. Talking about going back to my dad a little bit is that one, just like you're saying, like you can get left behind if you don't realize what the trends are, what's new and what's coming up. You don't understand what the culture is today. So like for him to say something like, "Oh, TikTok is racist," there's racist people on all platforms, but what he was specifically talking about was not racist. And so you have to understand, like, you don't even know what TikTok is. You've never even been on there yourself. You don't have an account. You don't even watch the video. So how can you say this app is racist when you've never used it? You don't know what's really going on there. You're just hearing what people are saying on the news or whatever is out there.
And all they do is get their information.
All they do is watch the news and listen to news radio all the time.
Can I tell you how I feel about that?
Go ahead.
I don't want to. So, you ever look on your iPhone when you get your email when it says fetch and receive? Older people, the generation above us, they receive information.
They don't fetch.
Whatever they get, whatever's on the news, whatever that person says, that's what they receive. They're programmed to receive. Our generation, we fetch. We go out and we get the information. We get multiple sources. We put them all together and we say, all right, this is the most reliable, or this is what I'm seeing. And that's what separates an intelligent person from a stupid person.
Well, I would say a wise person.
A wise person. Well, no, not wise, because wisdom just comes from just living and just learning.
Well, you can be intelligent and know these different things, but being wise will be knowing these things and understanding what's true and what's not true or something. So what I'm saying is, like my dad, for example, like you said, will watch the news and he will receive the information instead of going out to fetch it himself. Right. So we have a conversation. I'm not going to talk about the specific thing we had because that'll bring up a whole nother conversation. But he talked about something specifically, and I was like, I don't think that's right. From what I remember, that's not right. And he brought up the video we were talking about, and then we watched the video together, and he was like, "See what I'm talking about?" I was like, that's literally not what you said happened in that video. And then I broke down word for word what the person was saying. I was like, okay, did you understand what's going on here?
Occam's razor.
And once we went through it like that, he was like, okay, well, still. I was like, you understand what I'm talking about now.
It's not well, still.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you understand what I'm talking about now. So why are you still not, it's like you refuse to change your mind on this thing based off the truth now. And so I feel like you said, older people will receive information and receive it as gospel and just keep going on with that and not allow their mind to be changed. They don't want to go out.
They aren't inquisitive. Look at us. But if I say something to you, you're going to question me. I don't know about that, Cairo. Yeah. We can easily just Google it.
So that gets to my second point here is that our generation, like we said, we will actually go fetch our information. The problem that comes with that, though, is that a lot of people, this is where I said intellect and wisdom. Wisdom will seek information all places and figure out what's logical, what's true. Other people will seek information. It's confirmation bias. They'll seek information that proves what they want to say.
Right.
And I don't so you may have some information. It's just like we talk about numbers all the time. Numbers will tell a certain story, but you can always make those numbers tell your story.
That's right.
And that's why I feel like our generation will do a lot. They will come up with an idea or a argument or something, and then they will try to find all the numbers to tell their story, but they don't go and do the full research that will find something that proves different. And I do feel like our generation does that a lot, which is why we're so polarizing. Why we have like this side and that side and that side and that side. Everybody hates each other. Everybody hates each other so much because everybody's looking at information that proves their point and then say you're wrong and you're stupid, where no one's looking at the entire circle and like, okay, this is a good point, that's a good point, this is bad, that's bad. Let's
when did politics become so black and white? No pun intended, but like, what happened to the bipartisan? What happened to us being, neutral on something? Like I can have a political conversation with someone, an intellectual, and we can agree on certain things and we can disagree, but we understand that our disagreements, they're just opinion based. We live two different lifestyles, so we're gonna disagree on certain things because it benefits us or it doesn't benefit us.
Yeah, it's weird. And then like a lot of other. It got to a point where like politics has not just been in the political realm. It's like everyday life.
Everything else,
like,
which is crazy.
A vaccine is political now. Like what? How is that? It's like if you get a vaccine or don't get a vaccine, you're obviously a Democrat or Republican. It's like how does that even happen?
Yeah, or you're a liberal or conservative. Look at there's always a right, a left, a blue, a red. When Trump ran compared to Barack Obama, it's like the politics of it. It's written down right here. There is no opinion. It's what you have is what you get. But then it's like, oh, well, his personality. And I'm like, all right, I understand that.
Yeah.
But that isn't politics.
Yeah.
That's just your opinion of his character. Going either way. I think Obama's the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
True.
But his political stance, whether you're black, white, rich, poor, it's all going to be the same thing.
I do believe too that a lot of times. Well, never mind. I can't say that. Well, yeah, maybe I can. A lot of times when you talk about character, it always plays out in your actions as well. Mm-hmm. So you can be a certain way, a butthole or cool or whatever in front of people, but if your actions aren't doing the same thing, then it's like, who are you really, or what do you really believe? So like we can.
Oh, they say that's politics.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like
because Donald Trump, for instance, said a lot of things, and he has the personality that you would think he would do a lot of things, but as president, he can only do so much. And a lot of times when you look at it, it's like, I know he didn't want to do that, but he had to be political. Same thing with Barack Obama. It's like, well, he says he wants to do this and do that, and you're like, you know what? I like the way he talks. It seems like he's this type of guy. But then when you look at his politics, you're like, man, he did that? He had to. But that's politics.
Sometimes, and that's the thing with like, voting for a president is that you're never going to get what you want.
That's why I don't vote.
Really?
That's a lie.
I don't. I voted one time for, and it's funny because even growing up, I didn't want to vote, and I said I wasn't going to. But when Barack Obama ran, I was like, well, I want to be a part of history. I want to be able to tell my children that I was a part of this moment. So I did vote for that reason and that reason only. And then going forward, I had no reason to vote because here I am, a black man. If I vote for Donald Trump, oh my God, I'm every name in the book. But I'm not going to vote for the other guy because then it just doesn't benefit me, and it's just something I don't believe in.
You know who I think would have been the best candidate to vote for?
Who?
Tulsi Gabbard.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, she is beautiful, man.
Yeah,
she's the coolest presidential candidate, and she was beautiful. She's a Hawaiian, and I think she's married now. But like if you go right now, look at her TikTok or Instagram or something or YouTube channel, it's just her surfing.
Yeah, but it's crazy because no one's gonna vote for a woman. No one's gonna vote.
She's
for
the one who killed Kamala Harris in the debate. Like Kamala Harris is up there talking about like her things or whatever, and then Tosi was like, "So you were, I forgot what her position was in California or whatever, but she was like, you put this amount of black men in prison, you did this," and then she tore her completely apart.
But it's crazy how many of our people voted for Joe Biden just because he wears sunglasses.
I don't think that's why.
I mean, because
no, they just wanted Trump out of office.
Yeah, they wanted Trump out of office.
Yeah, I think they wanted Trump out of office, but also I think because like a lot of popular black people were saying, "Hey, this is who you should vote for."
Yeah, it's all politics.
And again,
and now look at the world we're living in now. Black people can't even.
I went hunting the other day because I'm tired of buying meat for it's so expensive.
It's really crazy. I mean, inflation has killed us because, and the crazy thing is, and I don't want to make this a political thing, but
yeah, let's try not to. Just this is supposed to be a comedy podcast.
It's crazy. It's
Can we take a break real quick?
When we vote, we shouldn't be allowed to have names or faces on the ballot. It should just all be politics.
No, that's a great idea actually. Like you shouldn't be allowed to speak. You should type it in.
Yeah, because you shouldn't have to look at someone's religion or how many kids they have if they're married. But I digress.
I digress.
All right, so we've been having a lot of conversations about,
No, I don't know.
being with like have like a spouse or children, coming together with another person means you have to have, certain type of funds, to help your
I
family.
always have to. Actually, I'm sorry. I know I'm cutting you off, but I know a guy who's pretty cool. I actually wanted to talk to him about this podcast, but he said when he got married, he had $17 in his bank account and had just got out of college or what?
It's irresponsible.
Well, yeah,
that's
at the
different.
time. But I think it's just kind of like you're going to college, you get out of college, you're broke, a college student trying to find a job, and there aren't any jobs or whatever.
What's the
But
point
he
of
ended up
going to
getting married. Him and his wife got married, and now they're both doing well. But that's because at the time of their life, he didn't have any money. But anyway, that's just besides the point.
See, so in that scope of things, I would probably say if you was given an opportunity right now to have 850 credit score or be given $2 million cash tax free, or you make $4,000 a week for the rest of your life.
Tax free?
No.
Not tax free, but
How much is that in taxes every year?
what the yearly total?
$4,000 a week.
4,000 a week, and it's 52 weeks.
Okay.
Let's say
keep going.
let's say the 4,000 is not taxed either. Cause there's no reason
I
to
think
have
it's a
2
harder
million
twist. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep
Right.
going. Just finish your
to
point.
have the 2 million taxed and the
Right,
4,000 not
okay.
taxed. So both are not
$2
taxed.
million is taxed now.
The 2 million is not taxed.
None of it's taxed.
So
Okay.
nothing is taxed. So right now you have the option again: $850. I mean, 850 credit score,
Okay.
$2 million up front right now. That's not taxed, or $4,000 a week. That's not taxed. What are your picks?
There is no right answer.
Oh,
There's one wrong answer, but there's no right answer.
Obviously, there's one.
let's go here.
You think there's one right answer?
No,
Whoa,
I know
wait,
it's
wait,
it's two.
wait.
Okay, two of these are answers that you can actually benefit off us, but one is an absolute terrible idea.
Okay, wait. Okay.
All right.
Wash. You go first.
Easy. 2 million cash.
All right.
Wait, let's say our answers, and then let's explain.
Oh, you want to
You want me
explain
to
it?
go?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Hey, you go first.
No, because he
broke down the numbers.
He's
He
done
did
the
the numbers. Okay.
I'm gonna say 4,000 a week for a life. A week? No, it's a month.
No, it's a week.
It's a week.
It's a week. A week.
I'm going 4,000 a week. Go, Nate.
Oh, I picked 4,000 a week.
Okay. Now, Wash.
Are you sure it's 4,000 a week?
What?
Because that doesn't even make it fair. Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
4,000 a week for life. That's what it was in the notes. So that's what I went
Alright.
with.
Even if it was a month, I'm still taking it.
Yeah, me too. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
right.
a month makes it more. A week isn't even fair.
Don't say right. You said $2 million.
No.
Okay, explain your point though. Since we all got the same, you tell us why 2 million.
I mean, 2 million is once. Credit score is nice and all, but for me,
okay,
I'm speaking for myself.
No.
Credit,
Let's just say the credit score is out the question.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah,
picking that.
nobody's picking the credit score
My
my
because
credit score is
one,
better.
Okay,
I'm
just
already
you
up
buy
there, so I don't need it.
What's the highest your credit score can go?
That was 900.
850's highest in
Ain't
America.
Okay, so what do you mean yours is better?
I'm already
don't
up
have
there.
850. Nobody has over 800 in this room. You have to be old enough to have established credit for that long.
I'm at 780.
I have
right
the
now.
highest.
I'm at 780 right now.
You don't have 780.
What did I say? You hired 850.
You don't
Well,
have,
I'm near it.
you don't have 780.
I don't.
without a house.
I
or a
have
business.
credit. I have good credit, so I don't.
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't. I wouldn't select that.
You probably have 7.
Period.
Let's throw credit on tape. Let's just go ahead with this $2 million.
$2 million cash. And me, I don't spend a lot, so having $2 million in cash, I'll be good. I'll be set
For life?
for life.
Okay, what else?
That's the end of your explanation.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna spend get a $2 million dollar house or a $2 million car. So I'm gonna spend.
So your justification for your answer is that you're set for life with $2 million.
So-
wait. Your justification for saying $2 million is that if you get that, you're set for life.
pretty much.
All right.
So
So wait. So $4,000 a week for the rest of your life, you're not set for life.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but
It's not
the same
It's
thing.
not the same
It's
thing.
not.
Because $2 million in cash, you're set for life. You quote unquote set for life unless something really terrible happened or you need finances for something really huge. But you're set for life with a cap. $4,000 a week for the rest of your
Well,
life.
let's get more into detail though.
There is no cap.
Well, let's get
And
more
you
into
are set
let's
for
get
life.
more into detail. Wash. You take your $2 million. How do you live your life? Do you buy a house?
yep,
What kind of house do you buy? How much you plan on spending on a house?
200,000 easy.
You're gonna pay $200,000 for a house.
I don't. It's just me living there.
Cash money. You're gonna be a millionaire living in a $200,000 house.
I don't have to be in a big mansion house.
All right.
Why?
$200,000 house.
Okay.
Living by
so
yourself?
You had, so now,
Living by yourself.
Okay.
So
Remind
now-
me again, how many thousands of dollars are in $1 million?
100,000.
100,000.
So that means now you went from
$2
$2 million to now 1.8 million. Cause what $200,000 house?
Okay.
So 1.8 million now.
All right, you're not even a $2 millionaire anymore.
Nope.
Keep going.
So what else are you gonna buy? Are you gonna get another
Are
car?
you good with cars?
I'm good with my car.
Okay, so you're gonna buy
So
your car.
just one car, no
that's-
other cars?
That's another.
Why would I need another car?
Are you gonna buy your mama
Okay.
house?
No.
You're not gonna buy your mama a house. You're gonna let her pay rent for the rest of her life. Is she gonna live with you?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well then, okay, keep going.
All right. So you pay your car off. You buy your house, cash. I would hope, right?
Yeah.
So 200,000 in today's society is not even a nice house.
Really quick, got a question. Oh, that's true. That's
That's true.
Question 2: are you gonna be playing Xbox Live? You gonna be playing Xbox Live?
I have the most important question.
Are you gonna be playing Xbox Live? Yes or no?
Probably not.
Probably not.
So what are you
You
gonna
play
be
it
doing?
now.
So what are you gonna be doing? Okay, here's the most important question: are you still
When the
gonna
last time you
work?
see me online?
Are you gonna continue to work? Are you gonna continue to work?
Absolutely.
So you're gonna be a millionaire. You're gonna continue to work.
Yep.
Doing what?
Probably driving trucks. What I'm doing now.
So you're gonna drive trucks for the rest of your life until you retire.
Sure.
You'll run out of money, son. You'll run out of money. You know how much the average lifestyle costs every per year? See, this is when you talk. You got to get the hard questions.
Okay.
That's to say 32,000. That's a minimalist. 32,000 a year.
I make
We all agree on
60,000 a
that?
year.
That has nothing to do with that. You're going to be making 32,000 a year. Okay, 60,000 a year. You're going to live off that for the rest of your life.
Sure. I can manage it. Been managing it since then.
Right, but you don't have the assets. You have no assets. You don't own anything. So you have no asset over liability. Are you going to go into debt?
No.
What are you going to do? So you have this money, so
So I have $2 million and I'm still working, making 60,000 a year.
right?
I hear you, Watch. You're saying you're gonna get the $2 million. You're gonna buy a house with that $2 million, so you're gonna have 1.8. You say,
Yep.
1.8 left over, and then you just keep that to the side, but keep living off the money you're making from your job.
Correct.
But the money you're making from your job does not pay for your house. Oh, but you already paid.
It's
your house
paid off.
But you have property tax. You still
Right.
have
Car
taxes on still property tax for your car and stuff.
Property
Oh,
tax.
wait. You have
you plan on having kids?
I can't predict that.
Well, what about getting married? Do you want to get married and have kids
No.
So you're going to be single for the rest of your life.
living with your mom?
$2 million living
I
with
mean,
your mom.
I can't predict the future if I'm gonna be single.
But this is the
or
whole
not.
purpose.
The question is, do you
we're doing
want to?
this. This is
No,
what
I
we're
do not
doing.
want to.
Okay, well then, if you say you don't want to, then that's easy to say. No, I'm not going to have kids.
Or married.
As
Or
you say,
be
you
married.
can't be married, but you still can have sex and accidentally have kids.
Okay, so
Okay,
you want to have kids
So
out of
you-
wedlock.
No,
So
no one knows.
So you want to have kids out of wedlock. You're setting up. You set the scenario up. You can do it however
All
you
right,
want.
well, I just want to know. You got bills to pay. Right now, you have bills to pay. Though in that bigger house, you're going to have even more bills to pay. And I'm saying, that what you're living off right now with your job, you're gonna have to creep into that $2 million to pay those bills. So
do you understand how inflation works?
That's true.
Uncle Sam's going to be taking
so
that money
what's
too.
going to happen is with what you're paying right now, you're allowed to live where you're able to live how you're living right now. But you say you're going to buy a bigger house, and you and your mom are going to live there, which means those bills don't go away. In fact, they boost up a little bit more, and you can't afford that with what you're living on right now. So eventually, you're going to have to take a little bit out of $2 million every year for this bill, that bill, that bill, that bill. Every single year, you're going to keep creeping into that $2 million until it gets down to like 15,000. You're gonna be like, hey man, I got to do something about this because I can't live in this house for the rest of my life.
But the question is, when you turn 55, you're still going to be wanting to drive trucks at 55 years old? At 45, you want to still drive trucks?
Probably so, yeah.
At 55, you still want to drive trucks?
Yep.
At 65?
Yep.
So
what's the retirement age?
It doesn't matter. You retire whenever the hell you want.
I think it was,
Well, officially, like government.
Retire from Social Security is 65 from Social Security.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be 70.
That's just from Social Security. That's just for people who don't want to work anymore, who can't work anymore.
Yeah.
Pocket change. Little change, whatever.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna be even if you let's say if you do retire, you're not gonna be getting paid what you get paid now,
Right.
which means if you still going off that $2 million, you still gonna be pulling. You're gonna pull even more out of that $2 million to continue living in that house.
I mean, from years to years, I mean, your income will raises. So I won't. I'll still be working.
But that's with inflation too, so it just cancels out.
Because
You get a 2% raise every year.
let's say
inflation goes
let's
up
say the
3%.
next 15 years,
You get a 2% raise.
See, you're trying to break this down, but we're all
Don't deflect.
We're all human beings here. The national average is 2% is 1.5% wage increase, and then inflation goes up 2%.
Oh my gosh! I just thought about that. I just got a raise just this month, and it doesn't matter because
inflation goes up. So
freaking gas is going up
Right.
and
Yes.
meat is going up.
it's called bread and
matter.
butter. It's microeconomics.
Yeah.
No.
It's guns and butter, but it's if the price of eggs and milk goes up, then it doesn't matter how much you're getting a raise if you're getting beat by
Well,
inflation.
y'all gonna be living off oodles.
So if you're not investing the
Ain't
money,
nothing wrong with Oodles, 46 cents. Shit.
40 cents? You mean 60 now?
60 cents now?
so to go back to the
A dollar
a
back?
couple episodes before, if I'm taking the 4,000 a week, I think it's supposed to be a month. 4,000 a week
Listen.
isn't even fair.
Free 4,000 a month. Even
You don't
still
have to
free.
work.
That's loads more than what I need. I'm telling you right now.
And this eradicates the credit score
I think
because
Exactly.
you gotta revisit it because it doesn't sound right to be $4K a week and not be taxed.
But watch, my point is even if
But
it's
don't worry about the
4,000
tax.
a month,
I understand
it
that.
doesn't matter.
let's do 4,000 a month. You can redo
So
your.
watch.
your-
So let's talk about what you. For example, your $2 million is going to decrease over time. We talked about why, right?
Right.
Because you're going to have to use a bit of that $4 million for your property tax for the house and all these other different bills and stuff, right?
And do you understand how?
Because you can't sustain that on your living wage right now at this current moment, right?
And do you understand how
So-
inflation works?
And inflation. So constantly you're going to be pulled. It's like you have a bucket of water and you need to give.
Drink. You
You need to drink, right? But you don't have enough to satisfy your thirst. You don't have enough to not be dehydrated. So
And no
every
one else
once
is
in a while,
pouring into that bucket.
nobody's pouring into that bucket. You're going to constantly keep pouring out of that bucket into this cup. Till one day you realize I don't have a lot of water in this bucket left.
There's a saying for that. Something about a whale.
Are we talking about or?
Shit.
I was talking
I had to
about
cut that out of last part.
God damn. I'm not part of this conversation.
But yeah, that well can definitely take a lot of your water.
Shit.
And by water, he means money. But no. So here's the thing.
So what's the math for?
Before we do
Okay,
that,
go
I
ahead.
just
Y'all
wanna
still gotta
break this
answer
down
our
for 'em.
whys.
So even if it's 4,000 a month, Wash, we're talking about your income that you have, right? That you're gonna be getting from your job that you have right now, your living wage that you have right now. Let's say you decide you want to get into a house, you can do that with that $4,000, even if it's just a month, because you have an extra $4,000 every month for the rest of
And
your
this
life.
isn't
With
this
$2
isn't
million,
counting
you
employment
only
income.
with $2 million, you only have an extra $4,000 a month. I haven't done math, but you only have an extra $4,000 a month for a limited time because eventually it's going to run out. For the rest of your life, $4,000 every month is for the rest of your life. It's not going to run out. So I can literally I can live off $4,000 a month.
A lot of people can live.
And guess what? That means I can go out and do whatever I want to do to make more money in the meantime. I
And
don't
you
have to have a
money
job.
to invest.
True.
And not only that, but $4,000 a month is your credit. Because see, with $2 million in the bank, you can go and buy a house. But if you're not working, and I know you said you're gonna work, but they're still gonna use it as your income. You can get a $200,000 house, but with $4,000 a week or a month, you can get a $500,000 house because that's your credit. Because they know for a fact you're gonna get that money.
Yes.
You're gonna have enough money to pay your mortgage and for the next 30 years.
Are we counting that $4,000 a month as income?
It is income.
It's income,
It
yeah.
definitely- the only reason we're not doing taxes is because it's all even.
Yeah.
The $2 million is taxed, so the $4,000.
Let's just say that there is tax, but the tax
But-
taken out makes
exactly.
it $4,000.
Exactly. So that is your income. That's if you choose not to work, and you don't. Most people aren't going to work because that defeats the whole purpose. You don't have to.
But the thing is, too, though, is like...
But some people just get bored at home.
No,
But you can do
by
whatever
doing
you want.
nothing.
here's the
But you
thing.
can do whatever you want. Like you said, you're not going to play Xbox Live. I don't know why you would put yourself in that
I
position.
think he just said that just because he didn't want to use the $2 million. But here's my thing, Wash. Listen, even if you're getting $4,000 a month and you don't want to work, guess what? There are things that you like to do that you can make money off of.
Or control here. Let's hear something else. How about you don't make money off of it because you don't need the money anymore? So you can do the things that you're passionate about and not get paid for it because you don't need to get paid for it. That's because it's also taxable.
Because
income.
guess what? You have an unlimited source of income.
Right.
$2 million means it's going to run out eventually.
Right. You can invest.
Have you ever
in
seen the
other
movie
things.
Blank Check?
I
It's a
have.
have
Disney
not.
movie.
Yeah, with
Kid-
the Macintosh.
Yes.
He gets the backpack.
Yes.
Sinbad's in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was the other one. That was the kid with dating the president's daughter, or the kid was the president's son.
Oh,
and
it was
said that
Total Luke that was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was
Yeah.
funny. That was
Yeah.
that dude. Anyway, Blank Check, right? Kid riding a bike, and then this dude back up into him or whatever, hit him, knocks him off the bike, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, kid," whatever, blah blah blah. And I think he's like a gangster or whatever. I don't know.
No,
He's
he
like,
owns Macintosh.
no,
The
I don't
computer.
think so.
He
Did
was in charge of the Mac computers.
I don't remember. I remember he was like he got arrested eventually because he was doing some shady stuff.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he was like, "I'm sorry, kid. Just to get out of my hair." He just wrote the check and gave it to him, and the kid walked off. But the check was blank. He didn't put a number in. So the kid wrote in $1 million, right? And then he cashed the check and got $1 million. And he went and spent that $1 million on a brand new mansion, the VR game, and cars, and like an escort. He had all this stuff. And I think within like a month or two, he ran out of money because $1 million is limited. And what I'm saying is if you get $4 million a week or for a month for the rest of your life, it's unlimited. You're not going to run out of that money.
And we're just doing a scenario. Let's be honest, Wash. If you get your hands on $2 million, you're not gonna handle it well.
Oh, it's not going to be like we
The
said.
best of us wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I mean, because if I'm being honest, I will say, hey, I only want a house that's like 175.
Yeah,
right?
that's all
I'm
you
saying that.
want.
But as soon as
But
I
if you
get
have
$2 million, I'm like,
then all of a sudden you
3,000 don't sound too bad.
exactly. Hey, you got it. There is no way
That
in hell.
happens in my day-to-day life right now. I'm like, I'm gonna buy some groceries so I don't have to spend money on fast food. But as soon as I get paid, I'm like, I can afford some Chick-fil-A today.
Exactly. So Wash, you gotta tell me you could get a $250,000 house right now, just based off of credit, because you said you have a $750,000. You can get a $200,000 house easy
Tomorrow.
So
Well, not tomorrow.
why
tomorrow.
Nah, in this-
but Monday.
Not in this Mecklenburg County area.
you can see you're being so specific.
No, I already did my
You can go to
research. There's
Gastonia.
not. There's,
You-
well, Gastonia.
Yeah.
is-
Concord is the place to be right
The
now.
average
Concord is
price in
300,000.
North Carolina is $217,000. That's the average homeowner price. And that's for
Bullshit.
crap. I've done the research.
Watch your mouth.
I'm telling you, but none of this is important because if you have $2 million, you're telling me
You can
now all of a sudden you're not going to get married. Now all of a sudden you don't want to have kids, and now you're going to live in the cheapest house. $200,000 is a cheap house.
Watch, you can rent an office space downtown in Charlotte for $600 a month and pretend like you have a business there, but actually just live there.
All right.
They'll catch you eventually. But
They'll
for the
catch me.
time
Yeah.
being-
Eventually, I would probably would get caught.
If it's me for $4,000 a month, I'm buying $1 million house, and I'm not going to work because that's the mortgage right there.
$4,000 a month. I'm quitting one of my jobs. One I'll keep because I still love it there and I'm learning there. But I'm
And see, that makes sense.
I'm quitting one of my jobs, and every bit of money that I
It's
have
gonna be
after paying my
invested.
bills is being invested, being saved, and going towards personal projects I want to make or things that's going to affect my career, like boost, like, give me an advantage in whether it's learning or joining different film
and earlier we were talking about passions. For $4,000 a month, I'm gonna get real passionate real fast. It's amazing how passionate you get with some money. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of things.
Nathan, what you gonna do with
and I'll be stupid with my money because you can afford to. I might buy a boat. I want a house on the lake. I'm gonna buy a boat, and I can afford to do this. And sure, I'll still work.
Why would you buy a boat? I'm curious about that. Why a boat?
Just because I have the money. Just because I have the money, and
a boat or yacht.
You gonna buy a Tiger too?
If you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, yeah. But I'm a little bit older now.
Remember Tyson? Mike Tyson had a Tiger. Does he still have it?
No. But that's the crazy thing is when you give someone like that money who doesn't know how to use money,
they buy Tigers.
Look at all the NBA players. Look at the things that they do. Have you ever seen the documentary, the 30 for 30 broke, and the things that these guys are doing with the money? This guy got at the end. He was dead broke, and they gave him a $50,000 check. And he was said, all right, well, this is going to be the way I start over. He said on the way home, he ran past the Hummer dealership, bought a Hummer.
And who was that? I think it was a football player, Michael Irvin. Did you see the episode of Flagrant 2 that I sent y'all about him? He was hilarious on there.
No.
He was talking about how the boys on the team, when he was playing for Dallas, how they bought a house just to have women coming in and out of there.
Right,
prostitutes.
I've heard of that.
Like that's what they spend their money on. But he was like, we got to keep this hush hush, and apparently the word got out, and where everybody knew about it, and then they had to shut down the operation.
And that's the thing: when you have that type of money, you're not just gonna buy one house and just live a humble home and go to work every day till you're 65. The reason I'm working now is so that I can retire at 55. I don't want to work. I don't want to work past 55. And it's funny because you're like, oh, I don't see you doing this and I don't see you doing that. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing it now, but there doesn't have to be anything afterwards. Like, once I'm done, I'm retired. I'm going to sit at home and do things that I'm passionate about because I'm going to have the money to be able to do that. And the Social Security check is just extra. 401k, your Roth IRAs, all that's just extra.
Sometimes, man, I just wish these hypothetical situations are real because
and you never know.
It can happen.
But I'm thinking for example, let's say if I write a song or whatever and I get royalties for the rest of my life, that'll be good. But I'm just thinking about how, I can literally see myself just living in the house, having a library, being able to read as much as I want to, whenever I want to, being able to write whenever I want to, wood burn and things like that whenever I want to. Mm-hmm. And then just spend some time in the backyard playing football with my son. That's the life.
That's the life.
And then whenever I want to go out and make a movie.
That's it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people have that opportunity, but they don't do it. They still want to work. And I get it. I get it. But when I was working at the parts store, there was a guy, he was 70 years old, and he would just come in there. His wife made enough money to take care of him, but he just didn't want to be at home and sit around because all of his friends were dying from just being lazy and being retired. Well, so he just wanted to come to work and just give people advice, just, talk shop.
Well, I still want to work, but for me, what I'm saying,
you don't want to have
No. My work is the things I like doing.
Yeah, we keep going over this, but everyone's not like that.
You know what I'm saying? That's for me.
I wouldn't want to work. I don't know how passionate you are about truck driving, but there's no way in hell I'm driving a truck if I don't have to.
But yeah, I have ideas in my mind. I want to be able to write. That is work for me. That's something that's a hobby that I like doing, but I can also get paid off. You're
great with the editing thing. It's I can see you doing that.
For example, you like playing basketball, right?
Yeah.
If you can make money off playing basketball, would you do it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Some people love it so much that they would do it for free. LeBron James was once famously asked. They asked LeBron James, if you love basketball, he said, I love this game so much I'd do it for free. They said, well then why don't you? He said, well I would, but everyone else is getting paid. Which makes sense. And I honestly believe that if no one got paid for playing basketball, LeBron James would still be LeBron James.
Well, I feel that the same way, because here's the thing is, we do that today. We're not getting paid from this podcast.
No.
But I like doing it. I expect to get paid eventually, but that's not why I do it. I like this, right? Mm-hmm. We like playing basketball. We do it for free.
Yep.
We're 30 years old and we can break a bone, but we still go out there and try to play. Watch Texas the other day. This is good basketball weather. And guess what? If I was free and Kate didn't have COVID, we would have went and played basketball. Mm-hmm. because we love it that much that we would do it for free. But if someone came out there saying, "Hey, this person's getting paid for playing in this part, you want to get paid too?" Of course, I already like it. And so for me, it's like, of course I'm going to work, but I'm going to work doing what I want to do.
So Nate, so what's the
question number, bro?
Before y'all broke my heart and told me it was not a week, it was a month. That was 16.
Because a week just doesn't make it fair.
See, yeah.
Keep going.
That's what I was gonna say. Because if you crush the numbers and you do it by a week, you'll hit $2 million in what, 3 years? So it's like,
Cairo.
What is it?
You make $16,000 a month. At the end of that year, you're making $208,000.
Right.
So I just threw a number out there. I said 40 years from my age to about 70, which is like 44,000.
That's
44.
Okay.
That means by that age, I would have had $9,152,000.
Right. So it's not even fair. So the question is, at what point do you reach 2 million? Because that's what ends the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
About 4 years.
Yeah. So see, that changes. So it's basically saying,
right now, right?
would you rather have 2 million right now?
Is it a month? We say a month or
No,
going
so
back?
no, I'm telling you, at the end of the year, if you're getting 4,000
But
a
we're
week,
talking about a month.
at a month. Wait.
He's doing it by a week.
So if we did the original way,
That's 52.
But he already has the number.
yeah, I already
But
did.
he
the
didn't say 2 million. How much is it getting?
He has it. It's 200,000.
So it's 208,000 for a year.
208.
Yeah, 208,000 if you get it for a week. So for
A year is
That's not 4
200.
years.
that's like 5 years.
Wait, we're just gonna multiply it.
Yeah, it's
So
5 years.
You can do that easy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It's
so
not
it's
4
5
years.
years.
It's like
It's
5
not
years.
It's 5 years.
Yeah.
He'll reach $2 million in 5 years.
No, you're reaching 1 million in 5 years. So 10. So 10 years you meet 2 million.
See,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said let's do it now.
Yeah, I have to. My fault. But yeah, in 2 years you hit 2 million.
Let's see this even if we did a month. So
No, if you're doing it by a month, at the end of the year you only have
It'll be
48,000 added to.
48,000.
That's
Still
a
livable
job.
though.
Yeah, that is. That's basically somebody having a part-time job for a whole year.
so yeah.
No,
you
that's
have-
not even
not a
part-time,
part-time
that's a full-time.
job. Yeah, that's a full-time.
That's a
job.
full-time job. Yeah.
Well, it depends on where you're at, because some people get.
No,
But
I want you to understand this. I was
Yeah,
working.
I don't
and
think
I
you
was
understand.
Listen, I want you to understand this. I was getting paid as a salesman and getting bonuses because of the sales throughout the year, and I wasn't making 46. That's a full-time job.
40,000 is the average
For full-time,
income,
long-time.
full-time job. 40,000.
Yes.
So if you're making 48 guaranteed, then basically you're saying you can work part-time and still be in the highest tax bracket. And that makes a huge difference, because if that's the case, then yeah, I'm working part-time
But
and still have more than enough.
Now-
Part-time is just to live on.
and I
But
did.
hey, this is great. This is the great thing about that situation. Is what I'm saying. It's
Oh,
like,
and-
if you love doing something, you can do that thing and get paid just
right.
part-time.
And another thing is, the math that he's doing is if you're not working.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's just living solely based
And
on
also,
the scenario.
and by that, like I said, when I times that by the 44 that I did from the previous year, you're only a few thousand, actually like less than 100,000 out of him.
And then there's also this thing called compound interest. So if you're investing your money, I mean,
Which most people are.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
And you don't have to invest it like you can just put it in the S&P 500. That's 8%.
To be honest, 1 month you can take the 4,000, pay your bills, do whatever you want to with it. If you're also working, the next month you can take that whole 4,000 and invest it in something.
Exactly.
And then
Hear me out.
alternate it out.
hear me
Exactly.
out. How long does it take to get to 1 million?
And what?
Before if you
5
get
years.
5
Get
years.
over 1 million.
I guarantee you, no offense, Wash, but in 3 to 4 years, we'll have more money than you if
Oh,
you
yeah.
took them 2 million. Because you're
Yes.
going to tap into that 2 million where it's going to go down and we're going to be going up the
Oh,
entire
yeah,
time.
absolutely. And that's how they've been counting investing. And in this, are we counting the wage income, the income that you're making from your job? Let's say we're not working.
Let's say,
Even if he does work, we're still surpassing him in 3 years.
yeah. Because, like I said, I'm going to do something. I
And
have
this
all
is
this
going
free
off of
time. to go
this is
do
based off
something
you
else.
not living. Like, you're basically saying that you're going to be a hermit. You're not going. You're not.
You
traveling.
basically made it
This
seem
boy
like you're going
said
to
he
get
not
$2 million and do absolutely the bare minimum.
Right. He says you're not going to
which
be playing
is
Xbox.
impossible.
So what are you doing with your time?
You're basically saying that I'm gonna have all this money, only spend, I say at most 400,000 of it, and then the rest nothing for the rest of my life.
Holidays, you're going to work on holidays. You're going to be driving a truck. You're not going to spend any time. You're not going
dumb.
to. Oh, okay. So here's another thing. I'm not going to. I'm not having kids or getting married because right now I just feel like I just can't afford it financially. But You incorporate that money.
Cairo's like, if I got the money,
Like I said, you start getting more passionate about it.
my man's like, I'm gonna have 5 kids. And I'm getting 4,000 extra.
I can have kids because it's not a lot of stress, and that's not even counting my wife's income, because she doesn't have to work. It's still enough money.
She doesn't have to work, but she can if she
can
wants
if
to,
she
which
wants.
brings in more money. We're
And-
filling up that bucket. Watch
And
what you doing.
the kids are living. We're all just.
Forget that. My son going to work at Toyota. He gonna be working too. But here's the
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, but
no joke though. If I have that time to put to side to help him do things, and
Look at you.
because
So you're saying you would trade your time for me?
no. Because hear me out. This is what I was saying actually. Because if we have that time to put aside, if I'm getting that money constantly, I can put money, time into having him also learn that just because I'm getting paid constantly without doing anything, I can still work. And it's still that in him where he's like, well, even though we do have this free money coming in, I know how to work. My dad taught me how to work. My dad still works even though he doesn't have to. I'm instilling that culture in him to where, guess what? He might be 14, 15 years old. Like, let me go out and get a
And
job.
you can pay him out of pocket. You can get him to do things and give him an allowance because you have that money.
It's true. I'm not going to spoil him either. Like, I want to get him a camera right now so he can start putting videos together. But he has an iPad, so I'm kind of don't really want it.
See what he does with his resources that he has.
Yeah.
And I've seen him do the little the avatars. So it looks
Yeah.
like that's something he's into. I think Caden's gonna end up being a nerd. I mean, I've never seen him play
I
basketball.
want him to hone in on something. Like
It's not
he
wrong
I've seen him
Being a
trip
nerd.
over his shoestrings. So I don't
he,
think
he
he's
plays
gonna
sports. He draws. He plays piano. He said he wants to make music, but he also likes MMA. He wants to do that. There's a lot of different things he wants to do. I want to see him eventually hone in something. Like I want that one thing to pop more than others, and I think it'll come. I think it'll.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to be patient with that sort of
Oh
thing.
yeah,
'cause
yeah. I'm saying I can't wait for it to happen.
Most guys, we don't realize what we're passionate about in life until we're in our 30s, because we have so much BS that we have to put up with coming of age, and then when we finally get there, it's like, all right, this is what I want to do, and now you have to, make a whole nother plan.
I think this is the thing that I felt like happened with me is that I think a lot of times that has to do with parenting and schooling, because when you go to school, all they want you to do is pass. Well, depending on what kind of school you go to, they just want you to pass the grade so you can get to the next grade and you can graduate, and then they just say go to college. My parents personally didn't start anything. My dad used to be a singer. They had a group and everything, and then he ended up not doing that because everybody wasn't committed, and he was like, this is taking too much time. I can get a job and take care of my son.
and
blah,
this
blah.
goes to money too. But I'll tell you why. Go ahead, keep going.
I even if he was getting paid for that, I don't think he would have kept doing it.
No, I mean the way that you manage your money.
Weird.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. What were we talking
I'm
about?
talking about your friend.
No, but we were talking
Your
about my son. Oh yeah, or parenting and stuff. So what happens is, I grew up getting through high school, and all I knew is that if I play NBA, then I can be famous and make a lot of money. If I become a rapper or a singer, I can be famous and make a lot of money, right? Those are my only outlets. Those are the only things I know that I can
That's
do.
because that's all they taught you.
Exactly.
Let me ask you
So
something.
wait, let me finish.
Okay.
So when I'm in high school, I'm falling asleep in class. I'm not doing my best, even though I feel like if I worked a little bit harder, I can get good grades. But I'm thinking, if I just get on that basketball team, I can get seen by college. I can go to Duke and play for Duke. Obviously, I'm not going to Duke, but my thought is like, if I can just get on the basketball team, get on the football team, I can do something. Never made the team, but also I just didn't feel like it was worth it sometimes, because I feel like if I made this team, what is that really going to do for me? And so I was kind of in this place where I'm like, if I can become an NBA player, I can make all this money, take care of my family and everything. But also, do I really love it that much where I just want to spend the rest of my life doing this thing? And so I was in a tough space, and I ended up graduating, not playing basketball, going to college, didn't really care for what I went to college for, spent all that money for that. And then here I am, 22 years old, and finally realizing, hey, this is what I want to do with my life, doing video. And so I've been doing that for like 10 years. And now I'm at the point where I am now, where I'm comfortable actually making money from doing that stuff. But I could have been doing this back when I was 20 years old had I known that earlier. And that's what I'm trying to do with my son now, is that I'm teaching him there are so many different outlets, so many different things you like to do, so many different things you can make money doing. You don't have to rely on college. You don't have to get a degree. You don't have to go to this school for this thing. You don't have to only play basketball. The world is your oyster. You just have to find throughout all that stuff which one you're more passionate about. And for me, I played basketball. And I can tell you right now, if I had gone to the NBA, I would not have ended up well, and I would not be happy, because I think about it now. I love playing basketball, but I can't see myself traveling every single week and playing 83 games and practicing on those days I'm not playing, and then constantly getting scrutinized by the media. I'd rather be scrutinized by something else. I just can't see myself playing in the NBA. And I'm so glad I learned that by not going, you know. But again, my point is, I think schools need to do a better job, and parents need to do a better job at allowing their kids to do a lot of different things to find out what they want to do by the time they get out of high school. And it doesn't always happen, but I do feel like if you expose them to a lot of different outlets, then they will understand, hey, the world is my oyster. I have a lot of opportunities. I just have to figure out which door I want to walk through. Because sometimes, like we just said, you get 30 years old and then you realize, hey, I didn't even know this door was here. I can walk through this door and be successful. But by that time, you're locked in with a family and kids. You got bills to pay. You got this job you've been working at for 5 years. You're like, it's kind of too late for me. Even though I still feel like you can make that chance, some people just feel like it's too late for me. I'm rooted down. My apple tree is already grown.
You settled, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, you can do that for your kid right now. They're 10 years old. You can start putting that in them right now. Hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that.
Well, let me ask you this then. Because we were talking about, or we were supposed to talk about what happens with custody. You know, when you split or divorce, how custody affects the children. So how do you think that you would have been better off with your mother? Or do you think your mother helped you grow mentally, physically, emotionally?
I think I would have been better off the way I came up, living with my dad. I think.
Did your dad get custody of you?
No, nobody ever actually got custody of me. It's just kind of like, who did I want to live with? But also like, I want him to live with me kind of thing. I think I actually feel bad about this, but like at one point I was living with my mom. I was in 5th grade, and she told me to do. My mom used to be hard on us, which was not. It's not terrible. It's just that she was a single, just like your mom. She was a single mama, trying to take care of 4 kids and trying to provide for us, and needed as much help as she could get, but didn't always get that help. And so she did everything she could, and it was a struggle for her. I understand. We were in the homeless shelter and all that stuff, but for her to take care of us, she had to be the mom that she was, and I respect it. And I just wish she would continue to do that. So when I was 5 years old, 5th grade, 10 years old, I remember her telling me to do something, or I don't remember what it was. I was crying about something I got in trouble for, or something she told me to do or whatever. And I was the oldest, so I had a lot more responsibility than my siblings. And I remember crying and like going to my room and packing a little grocery bag of clothes and walking to the front door. And I remember holding the doorknob, saying, waiting for her to come into the living room to see me hold the doorknob. And then when she saw me, she said, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to live with my daddy. I'm going to walk to his house. She's like, okay. I walked out the door, and she closed the door behind me and locked it. And I just sat there on the door, on the porch, on the stairs, didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm just crying. I'm just like, I can't literally go to my daddy's house. And why did she not let me come back in? I thought she was going to like be nicer to me because I threatened to leave, but she let me go. And so I sat out there for like 5-10 minutes and knocked on the door, and she let me in. I don't even remember what she said after that, but I remember thinking years later that because I even said I wanted to go live with my dad instead of her, I wonder how much that went into her changing who she was. Because like I said, she would discipline us. She was kind of strict, but I understood that she was working her butt off and wanted us to be good kids. So she had to discipline us. She had to take care of us. She had to make sure that we were responsible, because I was the oldest. A lot of times I was home alone with the kids, and I was taking care of them because she couldn't be. There were times where I literally had to leave school with my 2 sisters, walk down the street to get my son from pre-K, whatever Head Start or whatever the school was, preschool, and then walk to the apartment and have my key in hand to get into the apartment because she had to work. Like, that's a responsibility as an older brother that I had to do. But she instilled that in me because she had no other choice. She didn't.
That's another thing that's not fair. That generation forcing your children to raise your children for you.
Well, that's true, but I think again, it's made me who I am today, being responsible.
You always see the silver lining.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't have to be that way, but something good did come of it. So, being the responsible sibling in that situation, again, my mom had to raise us the way she raised us, and I feel like she did a good job when we were younger. But no matter what, I always wanted to live with my dad. So me leaving when I was like 12 or whatever, and going to live with my dad for a year, that's when I met y'all. And then moving back up to Maryland and living with her for another year. And then moving back to my dad and staying with him for the rest of my life, well, for the rest of high school and college. I do feel like me always choosing to go live with him had an effect in the way that she parented, to where she became a nicer, more I'm your friend kind of parent. And so my two sisters and my brother lived with her during that time. And I'm with my dad, who's giving me guidance, teaching me how to start and get a bank account and be responsible, work hard, and all these different things. And my mom is being really nice and placating and just like nurturing as well, but more of a like we talked about earlier, not being strict, not saying this is wrong, you shouldn't do that. She became kind of the opposite of what she was when we were young, when we were younger. So I do feel like sometimes I wonder, like, did I do that to her? And so now you look at my siblings now, and a lot of times I'm wondering, like, I know the way that she parented them when they were older and in high school and middle school and had harder decisions to make. It didn't do them any favors the way she parented them. And so I always wonder, like, dang, did I do that to them?
Because they didn't teach them anything. So how do you feel?
Who didn't teach them anything?
Your mother. I mean, what did she teach them? It was just a circle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, when they got older, she stopped. The way that she parented me, like the responsibility that I had and the things we did when we were younger, I feel like she did a good job there. But when I left the household, I feel like she just maybe felt my kids don't love me and my kids don't like me. Let me change the way I parent. And so she changed the way she parent, and like you said, went to a mode of like, let me stop teaching them responsibility. Let me stop teaching them accountability. Let me stop teaching them let me stop disciplining them and stuff. And then now you look at my siblings now, you're like, Trell, how are you the only one that's doing really well for yourself? And I think I always wonder, like, was it me? Is it my fault that my siblings are going through what they're going through or live the way they live because I made my mom feel bad about herself or about her parenting and stuff? I think about that all the time. But, yeah. What were we talking about?
I mean, we were just talking about the effect that custody can have on the kid. Like, so take your kid, for example. How do you feel that you having custody of him, clearly that makes him a better kid? I mean, because you have the time to sit down and put detail. I mean, his mother just doesn't have the time or, the resources to split amongst other children.
I just...
If you want to talk about that, I mean... Yeah,
I mean, he has his siblings with her. She has other kids, so he has siblings with her. But I do feel like I'm doing the best that I can. I feel like I'm doing a good job. People tell me that all the time. But it doesn't save... Just because I'm doing... Let's say I was the best dad ever. That doesn't change that he has another parent out there with siblings that he can't see on a regular basis or aren't doing as well as he is or aren't, in constant communication. That doesn't change that. So Caden can be the most responsible man and get a wife and have kids and be completely happy with life and be successful and taking care of all his bills and finances and family and be like the greatest neighbor you ever had and all that jazz. But that doesn't change that he has other brothers and sisters out there, and he has
4 for 4, right?
Yeah, and he has a mom out there that weren't there every day of his life growing up, or that he couldn't talk to every single day, or he couldn't see and like enjoy every moment of their life as well as them enjoying every moment of his life. You know, like he can't see them every single Christmas. He can't see them every single birthday. He can't spend time with them whenever one of them break their leg, or you know, mom isn't able to come to every single basketball game or things like that. That doesn't change. No matter how he turns out when he gets older, it'll make him who he's gonna be, but that doesn't change how he feels and what he's going through now. And that's the one thing I hate. But that's just the way the cards are stacked, you know. It's like me, like my parents weren't together when I was growing up, but I am who I am today, and I still love them. But that doesn't change me crying to my grandma and saying I wish my mom and my dad would just get together because they love me, you know. That doesn't change that happened to me, that I felt that way. To this day, I can look at my life and man, I'm glad they weren't together. It would not have been good for any of us if they were together. But that doesn't change that when I was in 6th grade, me breaking down and crying to my tears to my grandma saying I wish they loved me enough to stay together. That doesn't change that happened, you know. But again, we are where we are today. And I'm thankful that I'm at where I'm at today. And I just pray that Caden is going to be the same way when he becomes a man.
I think he's on the right path.
I hope so.
He's got a good leader.
Got a good leader. Bring back the whoopings.
Whoopings.
Yo, let's take a break.
Yeah.
Before we take a break, I just want y'all to know.
All right, what's up, boys and girls? It's me, Trell, here from the Storytellers Podcast. We're always looking for local talent. So if you make music, do art, anything like that, anything creative, let us know. Send us an email or a comment or something. Let us know. We may bring you on the podcast as a guest appearance, or we might just feature your art. So we can slide it in the podcast some way, somehow. Just let us know, because we're always looking for people in the local Charlotte area. All right. This is a game I like to call Face Off. So, cringy, right? It's good, though. Face Off. So, the way it works is, it's almost like that game where you have to choose your person, and then, I forgot the name of the game, but it's a game where you have to, you pick a card, and then you pick a person. It could be like the Pope or Spider-Man or
Mary.
No, not that. But whoever you pick, you have to make an argument for why they're better or why they would win the battle or whatever.
Do we get to pick the people or
No, I'm picking them for you.
Yeah.
You should
All right.
say this for Trav. I mean for
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah. So, all right. First group. So we watched Love and Basketball, right, growing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize this till the other day. I forgot that this was happening. But he had two options: Sinai Latham or Gabrielle Union. Who would you go with and why?
I don't remember. Are we going by their characters in the movie?
It doesn't matter. Just Gabrielle Union in general. Were you talking about character in the movie or real life?
I'm going to go with Gabrielle Union.
All right, Nathan or Wash?
I'm going to say Gabrielle Union.
Nathan.
I mean, this should be an easy choice for you. Her name is literally your name.
Is your mic muted?
No, I'm
Okay.
live. I just ain't saying that.
Think. Come on.
I'm gonna say Gabrielle Union.
Why Gabrielle Union?
Looks aside, I think Sinai Lathan was better looking. I think
Latham.
Late.
Lathan. It's Lathan. Sinai Lathan.
Okay, keep going.
I think Gabrielle aged a lot better than she has, and I think she has more personality. I like her personality more. She's married and has kids, so I know that she's supportive and that she's wife material.
Is Sinai Latham married?
Probably, but it's not in the open. Probably, maybe she.
Okay,
isn't.
keep going.
I know that Gabrielle Union is, so I'm gonna go with her.
What about you, Wash?
I'm going to try to dark skin.
Oh, okay. Darker berry. You're not gonna finish the phrase? Okay, Nathan.
Talking about very sweet of the juice.
Juices are sweet. Go ahead.
I just say basically because after that movie, I didn't really see the other girl anymore acting anything from movies that I watched, but I always seen Gabrielle Union, so it's kind of like a familiar attraction. And plus, I know Dwayne Wade and whatnot. She was
I think
married.
that's what it is too.
Dwayne Wade.
No, it's just a familiar attraction.
Yeah,
You
just a
see her
familiar
more.
track. You always see her like. So now you get
I would
the.
say, but here's the thing though. If you talk about that though, I see Zendaya all the time, but I don't see Paige Hurd that much. But I like Paige Hurd,
Well,
so that doesn't work for me.
but then again, you have a thing to where you said, like you always said, I didn't say this, and then he said it. That to her, she looks. Even though you know that she's older, it's that her appearance doesn't appeal to you.
Right, and you see her all the time. So
Oh,
when you see
Zendaya's
her, you
legit a 12-year-old.
when you see
Yeah.
her, you associate her with
Yeah, a
young
12-year-old, like a little girl.
not a grown woman.
What does that have to do with Paige Hurd?
Because you automatically dismiss Zendaya
Yeah.
because you look at her as a child.
Yeah, that's why you don't. You want to. You say you see her a lot, but you don't
I
see
see what
that.
you're saying. So I would still choose Paige Hurd over. Think of somebody who's always. Who's
Let's stick with
current?
the original question, though.
Okay, I will, but I kind of want to prove you wrong.
I mean, it's subjective.
Yeah,
Somebody who's attractive, but they're current.
like right now.
Yeah,
Who's attractive and current?
yeah. Did you see that?
Beyonce? That's the first person that comes to mind.
Yeah, I never know. Like Beyonce much.
Just someone that I can think of that I always see. I mean,
Like most people when they talk about Beyonce, they say, "Oh, well, Rihanna looked better," or "Rihanna's better," or
Nicki
whatnot.
Minaj,
I never liked Nicki Minaj.
just based on looks,
Well, based off looks, yeah, but other than that, no.
because you associate it with different things. Megan Thee Stallion,
I think she's pretty, actually.
me too.
Okay. I was just trying to say that your point about Sanaa Lathan, you haven't seen her much. You've seen Gabrielle Union more, is why you like Gabrielle Union. I was just trying to say, like,
Well, it's just so you can put the puzzles together because you have more pieces.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, for me, I was just like, I don't think that works for me because, like, Paige Hurd, I haven't seen her since Everybody Hates Chris, but that doesn't mean I don't like her more than somebody else.
But if you've seen her in a porn, then you will probably change your thought.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's the point we're trying to make. Is the things that we see her in, so we can put these pieces together. Like we have a more full picture of Gabrielle Union because we know Dwayne
Because you
Wade.
seen her in a porn?
No, because Dwayne Wade. You know, we all watch Bad Boys. She's in that. You know, she's in a lot of things. So we can put all that together. So we have a more clear picture. So we look at her in her tapestry. Whereas where you have Sanaa Lathan, you know her from Love and Basketball.
Mm-hmm. I still like her, though.
Well, I mean, I guess I always had a crush on Kyla Pratt, and you know the idea that I have of her is just from
Yeah,
when she
I
was
think that was
younger.
everybody.
I don't know how she looks now. I look at Sanaa Lathan, I know how she looks now, and now I look at Gabrielle Union of how I know her.
Yeah, I choose Gabrielle Union because she likes to eat butt. But my next one is. No, but my
Face
next.
off.
But yeah, my next one anyway. So, if who you think will win this, right?
That's my baby. Lord have mercy. You talking about getting married and having kids?
With Kyla Pratt?
Man, I just knew.
Oh,
Our
here we go.
names sound the same. Like I just
That's
knew
true.
we was gonna have
That's
some
true.
babies. I knew it.
Oh
I was
my
gonna find her.
gosh, Kyla Pratt, Kyla.
Patterson, it just
Patterson?
flows.
That's perfect.
We was gonna name our kid Cairo, but that's you know, she has her own thing now.
Her or Raven Simone, and when Raven was
Simone,
back then.
But that's another thing. See, now we associate Raven with being.
You may
a
have a
man.
point.
Right.
Being a man, what?
I mean, she's basically a dude now. I mean,
Have you seen her?
Yeah, I mean, she has her good days, but for the most part, she's very masculine, and she's always talking about how she wants to be the
Every time I
husband.
see her, she just reminds me of like a. If you ever like when you were a kid, you would play with Play-Doh, and they would say don't mix the colors, and you get blue, orange, yellow,
And then we
red,
mix them all,
and
it's
you mix
just
them all
that
together.
nasty brown.
She's like a big giant dough of Play-Doh with all different colors. That's what she looks like to me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Her jaw is just so saggy. Don't get me wrong, I'd still throw her a bone. I'm just saying, if I had to choose, she can give me some of that.
Oh shit.
All right. So here's my next one. All right. So Omni-Man versus Superman. Who wins that?
Omni-Man
Omni-Man
versus Superman.
from Invincible. Yikes.
I mean,
Have
the
you
way
seen
they depict him, I want to almost say Omni-Man.
Nathan, have you seen Invincible?
No, you got
I've
it.
seen it.
Omni-Man versus
Omni-Man is a world beater, but he bleeds and gets beat up.
Right. Superman can too, though.
Superman has an obvious weakness,
Yes.
and Omni-Man has no. He has no
No
boundaries.
clear weakness.
Right.
Well, he has no boundaries.
Also-
Like Omni-Man will kill you.
Yeah. And so
Right.
here's the things about this argument is that Omni-Man goes all out. Right?
Right.
Because his purpose is to
Superman holds back.
Superman holds back.
Well, we know Omni-Man's purpose is to take over worlds.
Right. And so on the other side of that, Superman has a clear weakness, right? Omni-Man doesn't, but he bleeds a lot. But think about the people he's fighting. He's fighting people who not the same. They're not evenly matched as he is, but they're
And he's killing them, like ripping them to shreds, literally.
yeah.
God,
So-
that opening scene, man.
Yo,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
He killed everybody.
When he killed that dude, what's he? I don't remember his name. The
It's just
Blur
so
or
creative. It's just one. I mean, the girl turned her head all the way backwards.
That was crazy. It's funny, like that set the tone for the show though. You watch the show and you're like, oh, this is what we doing. And then you watch the rest of it, like they it wasn't like just that one time thing. No, he kept being like
Kept
that.
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept that energy.
But he went and followed the aliens.
You talk about a sociopath. This dude was he can turn it on.
Like he's aware that he's the most powerful person on
Yeah, it's crazy because like he'll be like, I forgot his wife's name, Martha or something like that. He's
I
like,
haven't seen this
he'll
one.
be like, I love
Isn't
you
it
so
like
much.
Connie?
I'm doing this for us, blah blah blah. And then they go to what, Italy or something or Paris or whatever, and they're having dinner, and then somebody's destroying the town. She's like, baby, aren't you on a sailboat? She's like,
Like,
oh,
yeah,
they can
let the
do it.
cops handle it.
Yeah, it's like this dude. He's a psychopath.
He is. I
don't
like
understand.
him, man. He's the perfect character.
He's a
I can't
perfect
wait for
villain.
next season.
It's
I
a-
can't either, man. But have you seen Battle Beast in the show? Battle Beast was the one that was like the white tiger looking kind of guy.
On that show?
Yeah, he came in and
Yeah,
beat him up, and
out
then
of
he was,
nowhere,
he was
right?
like, "Oh, this is too easy. I'm gonna
Right.
leave."
He like smashed the dude and like I
Battle
was like, yo,
Beast.
who is this
Hey,
dude?
listen, Battle Beast is a problem. If you know anything about the comics, right?
No, I have never read the
So,
comics. But it's the
Omni-Man-
same guy that wrote The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman, I think.
Sounds right.
Something like that. If you know anything about the comics, right? Omni-Man came from the planet I forgot the name of their people, but where he's from, right? And their headman or president, boss, whoever he is, right? He is a beast, right? Battle Beast is literally out to find the most challenging fight he can have because that's what he does. He goes from place to place, challenging people and fighting them to the death. So I don't know if they're gonna do this in the show. I don't know if they're planning on it or whatever. But what he did in the comic book, he goes out there to fight this guy, right? And because none of the other people of that race can handle him, he goes out there and he fights this guy, and then they're going at it, boom, 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 and then somebody interrupts and they end up getting I think they cut the dude that their boss man or whatever. I can't remember his name or whatever. But they injured him, right? And Battle Beast is upset because he's like, I want to fight this dude at his full strength, and I want to see who's the best. And so he ends up killing the person who injures him, and then after he kills him, he ends up cutting himself. He said, okay, now we're even. Let's keep fighting. And they keep fighting to the death. But Battle Beast is a problem. He literally is probably the strongest person ever in that universe, I believe. Because he literally just goes around not conquering, but killing the best of the best of the best. He literally wants to go out there and fight people until he dies. That's his mission in life, is to fight until he dies. Anyway, back to the point. Omni-Man or Superman?
Omni-Man.
I don't know. That's a good one. I would have to say Omni-Man only.
I think Omni-Man would kill Superman.
I only say Omni-Man because Omni-Man can fly to Krypton, grab some kryptonite, and then come back and rip Superman in half. The question is, will Superman let him do that? If Superman turns it on,
Yeah, I mean that's not sleep on him. He's still Superman.
yeah,
Right.
It's a weird thing.
He has that weird
I
moral.
don't know. It's weird because I'm thinking, like, if me and you were getting in a fight, right, and you were you can outmatch me, right? Wait. If you can outmatch me, right? Hands down. Can you outmatch me to stop me from opening that front door? If you can do that, then I think that Superman wins. If Superman can stop him from getting Krypton, then Superman can probably win. If Superman is that strong. But if he lets him slip and get some kryptonite, it's over for Superman. So it just depends on the setting, where they're at, how far they are from Krypton. All of that depends on that. But I still say Omni-Man.
I can't wait till the next season comes out.
Superman called Justice League.
Maybe.
So y'all in agreement? Omni-Man?
Omni-Man.
Yep.
All right.
All right, the last one is super easy. Goku or Superman?
Goku.
Superman.
I don't know, honestly.
I'm gonna go Superman.
I'm going to Goku.
I just don't think his spirit bombs or anything will be.
Screw that. Ultra Instinct, where you can't even hit him. Mix that up with all the other stuff they can do.
Goku.
Yeah.
I think about how fast Goku moves.
Goku would have to be at his maximum strength.
He can. Okay, Ultra Instinct only triggers when he's about to die.
Right.
So the moment he tried to shoot him with a laser, it's already over.
So by the transitive property, so you're telling me that Goku can beat Omni-Man?
More like yes.
So
But I haven't seen. So I haven't
who beats
seen.
Goku then. The One Punch Man.
Yeah, Saitama.
I mean, he has died before, so I mean, he can't be beaten. But I'm just saying.
Oh, well then that's the question then. Can who killed him? Was it Frieza? No.
Yeah, I mean, Piccolo killed
Who
him.
hasn't killed him? Goku's died.
Boo has killed him, right?
I don't know. I mean, I remember watching one season.
no.
He was
I'm
just
trying to remember
dead the whole time.
Okay.
He died like a few times. I'm trying to figure out
Vegeta
who killed him.
Majority of the show, he was dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who. I always remember him coming back,
Piccolo-
but I don't remember who kills him.
Piccolo killed him because he killed Raditz also.
Oh yeah,
So that's
yeah.
one.
So Piccolo can kill. Nah, that takes some time. He's not gonna give him that
I
time.
mean,
to
it's
do
a
it.
special beam cannon,
Yeah.
so it's gonna take a little minute. Cell almost did, but then Gohan ended up killing him.
So
Wait, Cell didn't kill Goku?
No,
But he was dead in that episode.
no,
Yeah, because he helped Gohan.
no.
Someone killed Goku.
No. So this is what happened. Cell did end up killing Goku because Goku did the teleportation thing. He sent him to Kami's place, and he blew up there, and he died. But Cell ended up coming back because little bits and pieces of him were still on Earth.
yeah.
Right,
So he killed himself.
So basically, technically Cell killed Goku, but Goku knew it was going to happen, so
Yeah.
he took him. He took him there.
I'll fix it. Keep talking.
So that's a death. So you have Frieza, no, because Goku killed Frieza on Namek.
Didn't Boo eat him?
Yeah, he ate him and Vegeta when they was together, when they fused.
But it didn't kill him because they was fighting. It was
Yeah, because they fought him from the
amazing
inside
fighting
out.
candy, right?
Well, they was fighting him from the
He was
inside out.
fighting him as a candy ball. I remember.
Yeah,
the name of the
inside him.
episode was like the
Yeah,
amazing
I
fighting
remember.
candy.
Yeah,
And then they went inside and they was fighting together. Yeah, I remember.
yeah. And that would end up making Kid Buu. And then Kid Buu ended up killing Vegeta, but not Goku.
Hey, so does that make Goku undefeated then? If he didn't really get killed by anybody, it was more of like he put himself in situations to die. Like Piccolo killed him because he was sacrificing his life. Cell killed him because he was sacrificing his life. He didn't really die from anyone just straight up whooping his butt then.
Yeah, facts. Nobody like beat him down and killed
So
him.
Goku is the GOAT?
So you think Goku's the GOAT?
Goku the GOAT?
Okay.
And like I
What
said,
about a gorilla versus a grizzly bear?
Grizzly Bear. No, wait. I
Wait,
thought it was
what?
Grizzly Bear.
I mean, I like the gorilla. I'm gonna go gorilla. I'm gonna be devil's
Why?
advocate. But I'll tell you why. But go ahead. What do
I
you
was going to say gorilla.
really?
Gorilla.
What do you think? Why?
Hurry up.
I'm gonna say gorilla.
No.
Oh, you saying gorilla because we said gorilla.
No, just gorilla.
Why do you think a gorilla will be a grizzly bear? You know how big a grizzly bear is?
Grizzly bears are huge,
They're
dude.
like a ton.
They're fast too. Hey, grizzly bears are so much faster than you believe. They run like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, like 40. And they have claws and
Oh my
teeth.
gosh.
A grizzly bear would shred a gorilla, but here's why I say a gorilla.
Oh wait,
Jackie
you didn't
Chan.
finish. Why did you say?
Oh.
Why?
I just think gorillas are.
I think gorillas are cool.
No, it's just intelligent. I mean, they're different species.
I say gorillas. Well, yeah, because of their intelligence. I look at Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was never the fastest or strongest with all the rest of the fight, but you get Jackie Chan in a warehouse with some letters and a hammer, and, you know, he's gonna find some things.
I was thinking the same thing.
I feel like a gorilla knows that the bear is.
A gorilla will see a bear coming, climb up in a tree, and say, "Hey, I'm gonna drop some junk on you, make you turn your back. As soon as you turn your back, I'm gonna stab you in the back with this stick."
A gorilla will literally cultivate a bear trap.
Even if a bear got the upper hand on a gorilla, I do feel like a gorilla would be
like poke his eyes out or something.
Yeah, he would do something smart. Like, you're gonna bite me? Okay, why you biting me? I'm gouging your eye out.
Or a gorilla will play dead. I just think there's just so many different things.
Also, bears are strong, but gorillas are really strong. Yeah, a gorilla can grab your throat and crush your trachea. Yeah, if a bear is on him. Like, if by the way, they're this smart. If a bear comes at a gorilla to attack him, a gorilla will legit put his arm out here, because this is his forearm is tough. It hurts, no doubt. Bear will put his arm in front of the bear. Because bears are bears.
A bear will bite his arm.
A bear will bite his arm, but as soon as he latches on the arm, gorilla will grab his throat, crush his trachea, end of the game. Just because the gorillas are smart.
I agree. I think that the alpha on Earth. That's why we're at the top of the food chain.
Because of intelligence.
A bear should naturally kill a human, but we can just shoot a bear.
Can you imagine if
a gorilla got his hand?
Cheetahs, bears, wolves, hyenas, and stuff were smart like we are.
Oh my God, we wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Not at all.
We wouldn't stand a
but
chance.
who would win in the animal kingdom if all these animals were smart?
Not as smart as humans, but smarter.
Oh, smarter than humans. Who's top of the animal kingdom? All the predators out there. Who's top of the animal kingdom? Let's exclude gorillas.
Well, it's more than just a mental thing. It's also a physical build.
Well, yes,
they don't have expendable thumbs.
That's why I'm saying at the top of the animal kingdom, if bears and tigers and stuff are smarter than us, who?
I still think the gorilla.
I'm saying exclude gorilla because that's just.
It's a bear.
They have thumbs in their stomach.
Yeah, I would say the bear. You can't go with any primate at all. Then it would be the bear.
You think a bear? Let me think.
Their claws. Their claws could decapitate you.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. Have you ever seen the Polar Express movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, wasn't Polar Express? It wasn't Polar Express. It was another movie. But these two polar bears are fighting. One polar bear just straight up swat the other polar bear, knocked his bottom jaw off. I was like, I thought this was a kid's movie.
Polar Express?
Not Polar Express. It was another movie. It was like I forgot what it was called, but he straight up stood up, whoom, and knocked his bottom jaw off. That bear was like,
yeah. I would say the bear. Because a bear can also stand on its hind legs, which gives it a great advantage.
Bears are fast. They're really strong. They have a tough bite. They, like you said, can stand up. And if they're smart, then I'm pretty sure they can put on armor and all this other stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that they could do.
A lion can run.
Cheetahs are fast.
Yeah, they're fast, but they're on all fours.
Wait a minute. Well, then that goes into intelligence. I was going to say wolf because of the pack. But that's intelligence. Hyenas because of the pack, but that's intelligence.
Away, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say
and there still has to be some sort of just because they're all smart, they can't all be the same amount of intelligence. Like it's all relevant,
Yeah. What animal would you think would be
the smartest?
Not just smartest, but who would be more? It's like we were talking about the older people, right? The boomers, right? Mm-hmm. They are behind the curve because they haven't adapted. Right. What animal do you think would be best at adapting and being intelligent in that aspect?
I think it would be the bear.
You think so?
Are we talking straight up on the ground, or are we talking about sea life too?
No animal underwater they all getting murked. I don't care what you say because a bear
can let's say build like a breathing apparatus.
Exactly. There's no way an animal underwater. First of all, they don't have the opposable thumbs or hands. Right. They're not building anything. And if they were super smart, there's no way possible they're building something to walk on land. I don't care what you say. There's no animal
And
underwater.
even if they do, it take them too long. Like it ought to be.
Listen, bears would be like, "Hey, I heard dolphins was building breathing apparatus under the water.
Get this taken care of before
Let's
it even happens.
But sir, if you nuke the ocean, then forget it. Let's nuke them."
Bears literally.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
I can picture a bear being like Trump.
And bears, yeah, there'd be that one orange bear.
That orange bear
It'd
with
be,
the blue suit on.
And the crazy comb over on the top.
The dolphins, they're huge. We get it, they're great, but we know better people. Okay,
Sir, I heard dolphins were smarter than theirs. You're wrong.
We're literally going to shoot them in the blowhole. We're going to blow a hole bigger than the blowhole they never could imagine.
We got our people over in Mexico. The polars, they got it. The white bears, they're the greatest. We know.
Shout out Antarctica.
The black bears, my African American bears. We know. No, definitely bears though. I mean, they're the closest thing to a primate.
Right.
I can definitely see that.
I'm trying to think of what other animal.
I'm trying to think of another animal.
I'm thinking hyenas and lions and tigers, but if the intelligence is there, I think
Unless you personify them, and then lions are walking around like humans, but then it kind of just equals everyone out, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make it fair. I mean, yeah, because I think. Well, how about this? Let's put personality. Let's put personality.
If you give them personality,
because
when
I say personality, I'm talking about their animal kingdom personality.
Right. So the lion's already going to be king. Right. I mean, I think of Lion King. The lion's going to automatically.
What do you mean by king though?
They're going to have the idea that they rule everything. Well, yeah, they have that Leo back to astrology. They're going to be
astronomy,
astrology. They're gonna be the Leo.
Hey, your Gemini's showing. Your Gemini side is showing.
Who? The Gemini's who?
Your Gemini side is showing.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So I think the lions will be king.
No, okay.
The bears will probably be like the bouncers. They'll be like the knights.
When I say personality, I'm talking about how they are. Like for example, hyenas travel in packs.
Yeah.
Bears are usually loners. They're really territory driven. They take care of their young. We talk about lions. Lions are like the male is
their pride. Yeah,
he has his pride, but he has all the females do all the work for him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, if we're talking about these animals are more intelligent than we are, obviously we don't have a chance. But if we take their personalities,
we're not on this world.
Okay, true.
Yeah, we're just observing.
But if we take these animals with their personalities of who they are right now in the animal kingdom and give them the intelligence of human beings, then who is better at that point? Because I'm wondering, you think hyena?
The apes are still excluded, right?
Yeah, apes are excluded.
The lion.
You think so?
I think the lion, maybe the wolf.
I'm thinking hyenas.
It's going to be the more pack driven because also you have to take their aggressive nature, so you can't say like a turtle or
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because
it's definitely
turtles are
hyenas.
not
The
gonna-
hyenas kill lions.
Yeah, I think hyenas because a hyena.
Do you think that? But also, again, everything's relative. So the hyena is not going to be as intelligent as a lion.
No, I'm saying when I talk about
It's the pack nature that he's getting at. That I'm saying. So
Yeah,
they
I
already
think
know.
maybe
have to
they
be a
won't
team.
be the most intelligent, but
I don't think hyenas like dominate lions.
They do.
yeah,
That's why their number one enemy to lions are hyenas.
that's why
They
I was
kill
saying,
each
like,
other.
I didn't think.
I didn't know.
I didn't
Yes.
think when people used to say
When I think hyena, I think Whoopi Goldberg.
exactly right. Well, I grew up like I said. I think I said on the podcast before. I grew up thinking, oh, lions. Lions. They kill hyenas. You see it on Lion King all the time. I saw a hyena in person, dude. That junk like 6 feet tall.
Oh yeah, hyena are huge.
That junk is huge.
Yeah.
Imagine 10 of them things surrounding one
On all
lion.
fours are 6 feet.
That's a problem. Surrounding the lion, 5, 6, 7, 10 of them things.
Oh, of course, but I'm saying.
But that's what I'm talking about. If they're all intelligence, let's say their country.
So we're talking about a pride of lions, and what do you call it?
No.
A joke?
Not just the pride of lion. I'm talking about the way they operate. The lions, the king stays home. He allows all the females to go do his work. They bring the food or whatever. Every once in a while, he'll protect the pride, but he's not out there doing hard work. Hyenas, every single day, 10 to 15 to 20 of them out there doing work. They purposely antagonize lions just to separate them from their pride. they're smart. They do this. So if I'm talking about like their intelligence is up there, and there's a country they want to take over Africa because that's where the lions are, I'm pretty sure lions will send a pack here and just to get them get the lions, distract them or whatever in this area, and have another pack come from the back or whatever and just take them all out, because they can kill lions, but also if they're smart, I feel like they're going to be more of a group oriented. They're going to go out there and work as a team to take down the country. They're not just going to be out, oh, I'm the pride, I'm the king, y'all do my work for me. That's not how hyenas work. The reason why they're not king of the kingdom, the reason why they're not king of the jungle right now is because, by the way,
they're Serengeti.
Lions are in the jungle.
No.
Why do we say that?
Just
But
saying.
if the reason why they're not quote unquote king right now is because lions can still kill one hyena, but the problem is if you have a bunch of hyenas, they can outsmart you and they can discombobulate you to where your plan doesn't work out. And I feel like hyenas probably win. But again, I don't know every animal that's out there. There may be like some little small poisonous thing that's smarter than any other.
And we would know about them and they would be a threat.
Like a platypus. Platypuses are
honey
venomous.
The mongoose.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a rat. I think it was on TikTok. I saw a rat fight a snake. Like the snake jumped at it, and the rat like jumped and contorted his body to where he can kick and smack the snake's head away. And so the snake was like this, and he jumped, contorted his body. The snake went like this, and then he landed, and then the snake went at him again. He jumped again. I'm like, dude, these animals are fast and they know how to protect themselves.
Master Splinter.
That's what I was thinking. So, Goku over Superman?
Yeah.
Definitely
Majority
Goku over
rules.
Superman.
Goku the GOAT.
I'm glad I was able to persuade y'all.
All right, Nathan, give us the last one. What?
All right.
That was loud.
We're
Okay,
not,
go ahead.
okay, we're not gonna do a final chapter on this one.
Yeah, we're not gonna do final.
We're just gonna
chapter.
end it because we've gone so long. We're gonna
We
keep
kind
the
of
theme.
Yeah. Last moment preparation. No one came up with the final chapter, so guys, we'll give you guys final chapter next week.
We'll do 2 final chapters.
Peace.
But we'll try. Shut your butt. We'll probably do 2. Yeah.
But
We do have a final question.
yeah, we're gonna stick to the same topic, the same theme. So what's
Face off.
Okay,
It's a final face off.
I like face off.
I do too.
I did.
And now we're
It's
leaving
fine.
the comments, the anime stuff alone. We're going to like real life.
Speaking of which, before you finish, we always interrupting people. Anyway, face off. You guys can participate too. If you see in these arguments someone you think will be better or win or whatever, make your argument in the comments. Okay, go ahead.
And also give us other topics for the next show. That way we can talk about that
Yeah.
and add those to them. We'll give you a shout out too.
Go ahead.
So who's the last one? Make it a good one.
The final
By
one.
the way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead.
Will Smith versus Denzel.
Before we go to here, I really like the guy that plays Franklin in Snowfall.
And he's growing on me.
Oh, he's so good. I love him so much. Anyway, all right. Will Smith for Denzel. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Will Smith.
Who you got?
Will Smith.
Who you got?
Will Smith.
I say Den.
Okay. I have nothing against Denzel.
Oh, really quick. Why you say Will Smith? You
Training
didn't have an argument.
Day.
Why you say Will Smith?
No. Why do you
Go
say
ahead.
Will
Go
Smith?
ahead.
Like, cause like all the movies I watched, like Training Day, and no.
Oh, I'm about to say.
What?
Independence Day. My fault. Independence Day.
Switching sides.
Independence Day.
All black people don't look
Wild Wild West. Robot, stuff like that, and then the music career that he also has.
Exactly.
So it's like
Oh, what's the last one you say?
The music career.
the music career that he has.
Oh, I didn't think. I was thinking acting only. I thought we were talking about movies.
We're just
Well-
going on their whole
Their entire
body of work.
Yeah.
So I say Will Smith because the movies that he makes,
Yeah.
growing up, we've seen him grow. Like starting from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, from his being the Fresh Prince, being the rapper.
Y'all suck.
I know, and then the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, seeing him grow into that comic role and being a more comfortable actor to making like, award-winning
Y'all
movies.
freaking suck.
I mean, he did Ali. Just look at the movies he's made. and he's grown as an actor. I mean, he's made me cry, and he's still doing it to this day.
He's done it in his first acting job.
The
Yeah, and he's
Pursuit
still
of
making
Happiness.
the
Crowd Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
That scene about why you don't love me. Yo,
And Uncle
that
Phil
jump
gave his
hit hard.
other skate.
That jump hit hard.
Will Smith hands down. I
I'ma
mean,
get all the honeys.
I love Denzel. Man. I love Denzel, but it's just if you're talking about body of work, man, you know all the words to Millennium, right? What's the song that he did?
Millennium.
Yeah, the song he did,
I know Nod Your Head. I know
the one with Jodeci.
that's Wild Wild West.
Okay, you know all the words to Wild
that's
West.
not even
Surprise
Jodeci.
me.
Is that?
You never heard Wild Wild West?
I heard well, but I never knew it was them. I thought it was somebody else.
It was
No,
Jodeci
yeah,
in the background. Stevie Wonder sung the song originally.
It was just it was just
or Kumo D.
what's his freaking name? Cisco. It was just Cisco.
Yeah, that was it. That's not. Oh yeah.
It wasn't Jodeci. You
Yeah,
said
Drew Hill.
Drew Hill.
Drew Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jodeci
Wild
sung
Wild
the
West.
song, the Millennium song.
Rough Riders. You don't want none of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the song? What's the song when he's like
Buffalo
"New
Soldiers,
Millennium"?
look, it's like I told you. Any damsel that's in distress, be out of that stress when you meet
And
Jim.
he said that was one of his worst
And look-
movies, and really that was like
Oh,
one
it
of
was.
the best.
The song made it.
Men in Black.
Yo, he even said it. That was his worst movie.
Yeah, he said he regretted doing
We're
it.
going straight. Okay, keep going.
Men in
To
Black.
the Wild Wild West. Go ahead. Keep going.
Men in Black 1 and 2.
Straight. Yo, that song was dope. I can't even
I
lie.
wish we had the rights so we could play it at the end.
I know. I could sing it all right here.
Definitely Will Smith for me. But go ahead, make your case for Denzel.
Well,
You have to now. You have to play the devil's advocate.
he's just a better actor. Listen, Training Day.
I think so. I
Training
think
Day
he
is better than anything Will Smith ever did. I looked at Training Day and I told myself, one day I want to be, even if it's one movie, I want to be an actor in one movie where I die.
He doesn't show much range.
Well, I wanted him.
Will Smith does.
You don't have to do range in a movie.
No, not in a movie, but in your career, you want to see range. Will Smith has played a gay guy. He's played a superhero, a cop. I mean, Denzel's played a dirty cop. That's
Range
cool.
is there. I got you. Range. He has him. He's done range. I wouldn't say he has him because we don't know.
He did Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg. That was a
That
kind
was
of comedy, dramedy.
That was funny though. That was actually
Action,
funny.
yeah. I think he has some lines in there that was pretty funny, pretty witty.
You know, now that you say some stuff, I'm wondering like.
Denzel, I mean, but he's good at what he does.
Well, here's the thing, because I have this argument with Isaac all the time about
He made Malcolm X. That I think that's
no. See, still though, I have this argument with Isaac all the time about Johnny Depp. He thinks Johnny Depp is one of the best actors ever, and I always say I don't think so because he plays the
He's a
same
one-trick
character
pony.
in every single movie.
Right.
Like Jack Sparrow,
Edward Scissorhands,
Edward Scissorhands,
Edward
Tonto.
Sweeney.
They're all the same character, just a little bit different variation.
Even the animated ones are the same.
And I'm like, he's good
Even
at playing.
Rango was the same.
He's good at doing that, but that's all he does.
No
and now I'm
range.
looking at Denzel. I'm like, Denzel's a great actor, but it's always kind of the same character.
Right. He's Jack Sparrow. He's the Black Jack Sparrow.
Black Jack Sparrow. Ain't that about me?
So that's your argument. I don't.
Nah, I think I'm gonna have to concede here.
It's just comparing the two. I have to go Will Smith, but Denzel on his
Yo,
own.
this hit hard because I was literally thinking, oh, Denzel got this by a mile. But we talking about range. We're talking about a career in general. Like I was gonna say Eminem. Will Smith makes music. Like I said, Wild
Not
Wild
just
West.
music.
The
He
song,
makes great music.
the song that came with that movie is the reason why I even watched the movie.
The Men in Black. He even danced in that one.
Yeah, he's so funny too.
He's
He makes
hilarious.
it easy to laugh.
Yep. He's a fun guy, and the action, like Bad Boys.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, how do you make
Listen,
a movie with Martin Lawrence in his prime and then just
and
run circles around?
yes,
it? It's crazy.
Not only that, but be funnier than him in the movie.
Right, and it wasn't written to be that way.
It wasn't a comedy.
It's the
movie.
charisma.
And listen, you can be funny in a movie, hilarious even, and then be sexy, and have great action.
That's that. Hey, it is what it is, man. And Denzel is a sex symbol, but
Yeah.
Will Smith just
Yo, I keep thinking about Bad Boys, the first one, and that scene where they get up from when he saved his life from getting hit by that car, and they stand up and his shirt is in the wind. I look at Will and I'm like, yo, that was a dope scene.
Oh, I, Robot. Even his bad movies are good movies.
That iRobot wasn't even bad.
I remember I waited a long time to see it because everyone said it
Shia
was
LaBeouf
going to be
was
bad.
hilarious in the movie too.
He was. And that was
imagine.
really him getting older.
Yeah,
And
I think
he
that might have
cursed
been his
in there. It was the first time he cursed. I was like, holy look at Shy.
Wasn't that his first movie outside of Holes?
Yeah, I
Like
think
away
so.
from Disney?
Yep. And then he just took off from there.
And
We
then
can do a whole segment about
Disturbia was
Oh my God.
bombs.
Fury. Like we can do a whole
Fury
thing
was so
about
good.
Shy.
That's one of my favorite war
The
movies.
whole Transformers series, man.
Hey, Shy might be.
I remember when I first seen him, I was like, how is he getting these roles? And I know we're missing
He's a
one of his,
method actor. The problem with method actors though is like they're here.
Yeah.
They're here.
And you seen it with the whole green screen. Just do it. Just do it. Like,
That was hilarious.
But hey,
I wonder if that was a PR thing though. Like you can I wonder if he made money off that because people will. He did it with the green screen
which exactly.
where anybody can do anything. To this day, you have
Still
memes.
have memes. Still.
And I think Nike or somebody used that. Oh, just do it. I think they did that. I'm not sure,
that's
but I
genius.
think because what happens is if Nike say, "Oh, he did it with green screen," we can use that in our commercial just to be funny and pay him for it.
Nike already had that as a tagline, but they did use it.
Right.
Well, no, I'm saying that because
It
he
just
said
happened to
it.
work out. Just like how,
So I'm
Cameron
wondering
Hunt was like anything's possible and Gatorade used it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was his plan. Because
Could've
that's
been.
genius.
Nah, because he would have been wearing Nikes in there.
Mm.
Speaking of which, when guys do that, like Lil Wayne has made so many songs for like Madden and they never put it on Madden. Like
Formatted?
yeah, I mean like he's made songs about football and he's like
Yeah,
said Madden in it. Like
And First
you know.
Take, he done made plenty of songs and got on the show and never had anything to do
But
with the
how
game.
much cussing is in it? And like,
But no, he doesn't curse in it. It's like
Okay.
it was made for Madden. He doesn't curse in it.
Yeah,
It's
he-
like why is this not on the game?
He makes songs specifically for like sports and then also like I said, First Take. He did like 3 songs for First Take
And
already.
they just put one in there. The undisputed. He did
Yeah.
undisputed, and then
Yeah.
they used
They
it
made
for
that.
undisputed.
Can we talk about how trash the music is in 2K now?
Yeah, well,
Garbage.
see, we're gonna keep going on to this wormhole, but well,
I'm sorry. Because we were talking about Will Smith and Denzel. Watch. We haven't let you talk the entire podcast. I'm so sorry. I really do apologize. You said Will Smith?
Yes.
All right. Why you say Will Smith?
His music,